I don't know, but like, yo, there is something in West Africa. I don't know, but like, there is something in this part of Africa. When you take West Africa and you connect it with the Sahel, this part, there is something here that the West cannot let go of. The West cannot exist without engaging anybody here or being in this space. There is something here. Maybe we ourselves, we don't know. We need to find out. As I'm talking to you, family, European Union just landed in Burkina Faso. I'll tell you the details of the things they've gone to do there. I knew they will go because since last year, 2025, many of you follow the platform. The EU and the US, when you look at how we have been tracking their operation in the Sahel, especially Burkina Faso, many of you who follow the platform, you will discover that anytime we announce that US went to Burkina Faso for dialogue, they went to Burkina Faso with new approach. They have been changing their representative going to Burkina Faso. When they go today, within a space of 1 week, EU follow. After that, they will go back. Before you know, the following month or 2 months, they will go the same way. The US will go, follow by the EU. And one pattern follow their constant visit. There is a pattern that follow their constant visit we are going to talk about. Recently, I mean, a few days ago, the United States just landed in Burkina Faso. I published that here with new approach. They want to approach Burkina Faso newly. They don't want to use the former strategy. Guess what? The EU also came with the same conversation, and we are going to have that conversation. But there is a pattern that I've been following them since last year, which I want you to pay attention to. I think in my next video, I will put dates systematically on this pattern. The pattern is this. Anytime the United States go there and then left, the EU will follow with their representative. The moment they go, few days after they left Burkina Faso or the Sahel, you will hear about either assassination attempt on Ibrahim Traore's life or almost coup d'etat. Last time, how many of you remember the time that some people were actually arrested when the soldiers tricked them? According to the story, they contracted some of the soldiers to take out Ibrahim Traore, and the soldiers reported to their superior, and all of a sudden they connived and then tricked the guys, and the guy came and they arrested them. The day they were arresting them on the field, that day the European Union was in Burkina Faso negotiating. I published that here. I did story about that. And I showed the pattern even in that video. I remember very well. That has been the pattern of them going there and coming back. Am I saying that they are the one behind? No. I'm just saying that that there's a pattern that follow their constant engagement there. Sometimes they go there, nothing happen actually. After they are left, they are gone. But for few days, then something will happen. That's what I want you to pay attention to right now. We'll talk about that, but let me give you the details of the conversation. On Tuesday, that is 11 February 2026, Burkina Faso's Minister of Economy and Finance, Dr. Abubakar, he met with delegation from the European Union, EU. The EU team was led by the EU Special Representative for the Sahel. They have been changing the representative. This man, his name is Cravio. I mean, the last one was different, all right? They have been changing it. Now, the meeting between the AES and EU provided space for both to have open and frank dialogue, and their discussion focused on sovereignty first. The minister who received the EU team made it clear to them, emphasized to them. This, they have been telling them all the time. Anytime they appear there, Burkina Faso always made this point clear. They don't shake their leg. They made it clear to them that, look, Burkina Faso's diplomatic principle is non-negotiable. And that is their national sovereignty, mutual respect, and that international cooperation should be strictly aligned with national priority. And their priority should be aimed at improving the living condition of the people. Anything apart from that, the Burkinabés will not tolerate it and will not accept it. It is not going to happen. The EU also, the same narrative again. They said they came with a renewed strategy for working with the Sahel Alliance, the AES. They don't want to approach Burkina Faso Mali, Niger, with the same old approach, which they are displeased with. They came with a different approach. And this is not new. Don't be surprised. For all the time they have been going there, this has always been the narrative behind them going there. We came with new approach. Even the United States went there, we came with new approach. So don't be surprised. This is not a new thing to us. And this time, a twist happened. They said their new approach right now is going to focus on quality dialogue between European Union and Burkina Faso rather than the former agreement that they had. This time, they are going to listen more closely to what the AES countries, Mali, Niger, Burkina Faso, what they themselves define as their priority, and they will align to that. And this time, according to the European Union, they came with stronger alignment with interest and plan for the AES. And according to the EU diplomat, this strategy should or will be able to help intensify cooperation and strengthen relations between the EU and AES again starting 2026. This is according to the EU. I know most of the comment is going to be, hey, don't trust them, hey, don't trust them. You people should realize we don't trust them. We don't trust anybody. Calm down. We are not trusting our own brothers beside us. How can we trust EU? Calm down. Now, what was the response of the AES? Same response they have been giving them. But I told you I've been tracking these people. The AES made them understand that no problem. For them, you will not come and things will be on paper as normal. First, they will come and talk and then, oh, we have come into this agreement. No, they want to see real action and physical action on ground that will improve the life of their citizens in Burkina Faso. Anything apart from that, maybe they come with agenda that will prosper they themselves and then they will benefit, which will not make any impact in the life of the people of Burkina Faso. They are not interested. This has been the trumpet Burkina Faso have been putting in their ear since the time they have been going there. They always go there. When they never they listen to Burkina Faso, they go back, they will come back, they go back. And this year they have started. And they always work too. The US will come, EU will follow, and then something will happen. I told you about that, right? Now, there is something in West Africa. I don't know why, but it is clear now that the survival of the West without Africa is practically not possible. If we say it's difficult, then it can be made possible. It is impossible because these people cannot let this part of Africa live alone. Now, do you know the reason why they are coming with soft, calm spirit and calm conversation, and they are trying to make it look like they are twisting and changing their strategies? It is because there is competition on the ground. Russia and China are already on the ground. So we are dealing with these people. Every opportunity you want to bring on board, we have it here. So if you are coming, it is our time this time. That is what Africa need to look at. Burkina Faso stood on business, and people outside, Europeans, Russians, Chinese, they are bowing to the rules and regulation of Burkina Faso. Not like the former or the previous way where Africans, we bow to the rules and regulation of these people whenever they come on board. They set up terms and agreement. Burkina Faso or the AES, they have changed the game. At first, when the European Union come to Africa, the US come to Africa, it is about, yeah, this is what we want. Yeah, this is it. Yeah, you agree to the term and condition. Nothing you are going to do about it in the first place to begin with. And our leaders have no choice. We don't have a say in the agreement between us and them. But this time, the Sahel has changed the rule. When you come, it is our term and our condition. It's either you abide by it or you leave our region. Simple. After all, there are others here. We are into business. On global stage, there's no friendship. It is only about interest base. We don't have friends. We have partners. We have allies. We don't have friends. No country is your friend. That is why the Sahel stood on business. But I'm concerned about the threat that always follow them. So Burkina Faso, you should check that. Because me, I'm not in Burkina Faso, but I've been tracking that. And in my next video, I'm going to put the details and the date, as I told you. But you see, this sudden act of the US and European Union interest in this part is something that we need to pay critical attention to. Because not only their representative, but their military involvement also. Recently, Ghana, 15 French troops are here. You know about that story, right? They said they want to help our people fight Galamsey. Something we can do on our own. The following this thing, oh no, this one happened before Ghana. The US troops, some of them are in Nigeria. They want to train the Nigerian soldiers to do what? To combat terrorism. This came after they launched a strike on these individuals in the bush. That simply means that these people can use every challenge we have in the region to maintain their presence in the region. I'm not talking about the motive of our leaders. I'm talking about the motive of the people who want to help us. And all of a sudden, the United States is so interested in the AES and the EU interested. Since last year, they have been trying to go there. Now, do you know the reason why it is difficult for them to settle on one particular condition? It is not the way of the West. The rules and the regulation of Burkina Faso is completely against, or it contradicts the rules and the norm, how the West deal with Africa. It contradicts. So it became difficult for them to fit in. And they'll keep coming because I said it. Ibrahim Traore said it countless times that, look, normally when you look at it, you flip the coin. We are not the people who need these people. These people actually need us. We don't need them. They need us. He said it countless times on interview. Sometimes when he's giving speech, he said, look, he's never worried about who doesn't want to deal with us and who want to deal with us. The thing is, we are into business. So when you don't want to come, we don't give a hoot about that. Others will come. Currently, Russia is in the line. Chinese are on the ground and they are bringing value to the people. They are even doing things that you were not able to do. Things that the people were actually crying for, which brought this Bazawala relation, because the relation with the US and Africa and EU and Africa, there's a problem. Africans, we believe that we have been treated unfairly by these individuals. So when the Chinese and the Russians are filling the gap, they are filling the gap in such a way that we feel comfortable dealing with them than them. So they are also trying to, it become a competition in the line right here. And I'm not worried so much about Burkina Faso because these people, they know the people they are dealing with and they understand the game of the world. They are not going to lose guard. They will stand on business. But well, opinion they say are different. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. I know many of you are going to say, official, hey, don't trust European Union. I know, right? I know. But take it easy in the comment section. Me, myself, let me wear my shoe. I'll meet you in the comment section. Let's
But everyone has a different story to tell. Shell, which says it's losing it.
The Tampa market. Starting rise.
In Northeast Africa, precisely on the Horn of Africa.
Okay, all right. Good afternoon, folks, whatsoever you are. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to us all. Once again, this is Frank. I am your host. This is the Revolutionary Repatriation Educational Lecture Series. Aspect of WCC every Sunday or sometimes Saturday. What a good day, right? Now, I'm hoping and believing that we are not going to take long here today, right? I'm going to see I can shut it up because I have a meeting to attend. But let's get to it. So today's topic, right? We're gonna start with the video that I just played. There is something that I want to talk about, right? From this video, there is something that I want to connect as well. I want to add one or two things to that video, all right? But I see. So today's topic, it says 14 French national, all right, with HIV caught raping and sodomizing 14, 15 or underage children in West Africa, Senegal. But again, right, This is WCC. We're gonna get into that, but I don't want to waste my time. But we will get to that. All right. So 14 French nationals caught in Senegal with HIV infecting African children underage in Senegal. Listen to this, folks. This is deeper. First, I want you to ask yourself, why underage? Why are they targeting the young one? Why? Why underage? Why are they targeting the young one? You see, sometimes it is you talk, and our people don't want to listen. We've been saying this time without numbers. We've been saying this. There's an agenda against Black people, period. There's an agenda against Black people, period. There's an agenda against African people, period. There's an agenda against the continent of Africa, period. Now, if you look at the pattern, oh my God, if you look at the pattern, right, of what been happening in Black nation, whether on the African continent or out of the African continent, right? If you look at the pattern, it is always the youth, the underage that are being targeted. What happened in Kenya a few years ago? Bill Gates, when they were vaccinating those children underage, they said they started from 12, right? 12 and stuff. And then they said it was polio vaccine that it was putting into them so that when they reach of age 18 and above, that they want to give birth, they get pregnant, they don't have to take a polio vaccine and all of those things, right? And then years later, after some of those 12 years old, 13 years old, became, 18, 20, like, when they reached to that time of fertilization and stuff, they couldn't get birth, they couldn't get pregnant. And then when they did some research, and then most of these women, when they began to go to for checkup and things, to discover all of those women that couldn't get pregnant, right? All of them have the history of the vaccine that Bill Gates was giving to them with the pretense of polio vaccine to prevent you, so that when you of that age now you get pregnant, you don't have to take polio vaccine. Now new, they put steroid into them. They destroy their womb. Simply put it, they destroy their womb. That vaccine destroy their womb from giving birth. It is this propaganda agenda against Black people that we are many, especially on the African continent. They said we are billion plus people. And the agenda here is to reduce the population of the African people. So if you look at the pattern, they did the same thing in DRC Congo, even in Liberia, the same thing happened, right? In Liberia, the same thing happened. And look, when we get to this whole Senegal aspect, right, we're going to dive into it deeper. The propaganda is deeper, right? So as they are operating biologically, they are also operating injecting HIV, injecting sickness, diseases. There are people who have HIV who live from here deliberately to go on the African continent and infect Black people, underage children. That is what's going on. And this is what we keep telling people. Go back to your herbs. Go back to your natural herbs. All these so-called NGO or whosoever come from Western world, come down there. I mean, don't get me wrong. Some of them are good. But how do we know the good one? How do we know the good one? Because as we speak, even our own brothers and sisters on the African continent, right, are also involved in the ill going on the African continent. For example, the 14 French nationals, right, with HIV infecting these children in Senegal. It's been going on since 2017, folks. Since 2017, right? But there were people on ground, there were Senegalese, there were African on ground who facilitated this behavior against their own people. Imagine that. So we don't know which organization or which NGO coming from the West that are truly coming to give you, to help you with medication or whatsoever and things. And because we don't know them, that is why we need to go back to our natural herbs. These Western vaccines that are coming to Africa, I will tell you, based on research and based on happening, based on history, based on the hate, these vaccines are not safe. These medications are not safe. They are not what they prescribe to you as it is. Now, we're going to come to that. But let's get back to the video we just watched. Now, the video you just watched, I think last week we spoke about the U.S. presence, the U.S. sending a delegate to the Sahel nation. And they went to Burkina Faso, they went to Mali, Niger, right, to meet these people. And when they went there, what did they do? What did they say? Right? They went there with a soft-spoken mind, soft-spoken voice. Don't get it twisted now. This is how they came, very softly. And we introduce our society, our culture, our way of life. We open up to them. Little did we know what? We saw ourselves being enslaved. We never learned. They came back again in the 1800s. So soft. We open up to them again. Our religion, little did we know, they manipulated our religion. And then they said, what we preach, what we practice was pagan, was devilly. What they have was the right one. Because what we practice, salvation will not be for us. We will not go, And then they said, what they bring, in fact, their religion, their belief was a very good one that will take us to salvation. And then as they were preaching to us, and they said, however, the only way you will go to heaven is for you to accept that you are poor. The only way salvation will be for you to neglect your resources, your belonging. The meek shall inherit heaven. And then it said, just keep crying, don't retaliate, because there's a God sitting down somewhere looking at your cry, looking at your tear. And he said that God does not have time for resources. That God does not have time for wealth. But at the same time, when they were doing that, they were looting our resources, looting our wealth. And when we began to note, and then we start fighting back for our resources, what did they do? They start killing us one. Everyone that retaliated to fight, they slaughter you. This thing have been going on for so long. It has been going on for so long. So now we have to understand who we dealing with. We have to understand who coming to us. They came to us, we open up to them, they enslave us. They came to us, we open up to them, they devour Africa. Today, we are fighting the outcome of the division of Africa into bolos and coordinate names. We are living with that effect today. Because once I leave Liberia, I go to Ghana, I'm foreigner, but stay in Africa. Meanwhile, in Europe, somebody leave from Poland, they go to England, they are not foreigner, they are still European. With the same passport. From train to train, from buses to buses, and they stay in the same place. But in Africa, no. Before I get to Ghana, I need passport or visa, let's say. Before I get to Africa, I need visa. Before I get to Nigeria, visa. Before I get to Benin, visa. And we are cool and happy with it. So, up to now, the majority of the African people have not yet come to understand who we're dealing with, unlike the Shahid nation, Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso. Last week, we spoke about the US in that area. And after the US left, what happened? Europe went there. So the truth is, for Europe to survive, it is Africa. For the US to survive, it is Africa. The truth is, Africa does not need Europe. Africa does not need the US. US need Africa, and Europe need Africa. That is why when the other entity leave, the other entity go. So you see the reality. And now, why are they keep going? Because the truth is, let's watch this video. The reason why they are trooping in, the reason why they are going in. Listen to this, folks. What Europe is going through right now in the hands of Africa or Africans, they deserve it. What the US is going through right now in the hands of Africa or African, the US deserve it. When you have something that is so valuable to you, or something that is so valuable, and you know if you let that thing go, it will affect you, what would you do? You will cherish it. You will not mock it. You will cherish it. You will not dehumanize it. You will cherish it. You will not say all kind of horrible things. You will not create HIV, TB. You will not create terrorists. You will not form terrorists against them. You will not sponsor terrorists against them. You will work with their leaders, but you will not kill their leaders. They are great leaders. You will work with them. You will not work with dictators. You will hate dictators. But no, Europe and America, they love Africans who are dictator leaders. And then leaders of African or African leaders who are not dictator, but who are democratically educated, who are democratically, practically visionary leaders. Those kind of people, the US does not like them. So the US deserves what she's going through right now. Europe deserves what she's going through right now. It is the effect of going against Thomas Sankara. It is the effect of going against Patrick Lumumba. It is the effect of going against Amilcar Cabral. It is the effect of going against Kwame Nkrumah. It is the effect of going against Gaddafi. It is the effect. So you deserve it. You see? Yeah. You deserve it. So when we are saying we don't trust you, don't blame us. Blame yourself. When we are saying no, don't blame us. Blame yourself. When we are saying no, don't blame us. Blame yourself. When we are saying no, don't blame us. Blame yourself. When we are saying no, don't blame us. Blame yourself. When we are saying no, don't blame us. Blame yourself. When we are saying no, don't blame us. Blame yourself. When we are saying We don't want to open up to you again. Don't blame us. Blame yourself. Great empires in Africa that are failed today, that are no more existing, it is because of Europe in America. It wasn't African that destroyed those empires, the Sahel Empire, the Malian Empire, Zimbabwe, those places, Timbuktu. I can remember when in Zingale, Ashanti Kingdom, those places were not destroyed by African, but were destroyed by you. So you deserve what you are going through today. You deserve it when African people are saying, are questioning whatsoever you carry on the table. Because everything you told them before, you have said before, were all lies, and you betrayed them. We're talking about from the 1600s, you know how many years? 1400s. You know how many years? To 2026. You know how many generations have come and gone? But folks, these delegates going on the African continent, they are not going there because they have realized their mistake. They are not going there because they have realized that their foreign policy in Africa have dehumanized Africans, have put Africa in a perpetual poverty, beggars, destroying Africa. No, they did not realize that yet. They are coming there with all kinds of worries to convince Africans because they realize that their empire are crumbling and is failing. Now, it may not be in 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, but they know it. They know that 10, 15, 20 years from now, the empire you see, you will see it no more. Yes, Rome was destroyed, was empire too. So when Rome was destroyed, it did not get destroyed in 1 or 2 days. It took some time. Now, let's see a video here first. I'm not going to play the whole thing. See here. Listen to this. Now, I'm just going to play the first 1 or 2 minutes. That's it, because it's a long video. But that 1 or 2 minutes, I want you to learn something from there. I want you to learn something from there.
And pronounced within the United States, because empires are always fragile in this sense that they depend on the control of foreign labor, foreign resources. We have 17 years of warfare now in the Middle East, feudal, endless. Meanwhile, our infrastructure is collapsing, crumbling. Public libraries are closing. Schools are, teachers have to buy basic supplies for students. And now we have this insane idea that we're going to train teachers in public schools to carry concealed weapons. I mean, these are all examples of a society that is completely unmoored. So it is not hardly unique to the United States, and it will have a ripple effect in countries like Canada, but it will never reach the extent of chaos and potential violence. But never forget that within American society, we are a deeply violent culture, awash in weapons. We believe in the regeneration through violence, this myth that violence is a form of purification, and that comes out of our long history of genocide and slavery.
You started with a revolution.
Yeah.
We did not. You did.
Well, we also killed 90% of the indigenous peoples in the United States and enslaved 4 million Africans. And we've never really confronted that, that dark aspect in American history. We cling to our national myth. And so that does make us different and more dangerous than Canada.
This is
Now, I'm not going to play the whole video, but you listened, you heard what he said. The very land America, they came here, they slaughtered the indigenous people. That's how these people survive. And he said, we have never taken account of it. We have never taken account of it. We enslaved millions of Africans. And what did he say? That is the culture of the West. Violent. You heard it. It is the culture of the West. Violence. That's how they survive. We have been seeing these things here, but our people, they have to understand, so you got to keep. He said that is the culture, the norms of the West. Violent. They don't believe in peace. They don't believe in humanity. They don't. That's how they are survived. And if they are to do it, keep doing it, they will keep doing it. That's why they enslaved millions of Africans. They went back, they colonized the entire Africa, and then they start killing our good leaders. And up to today, they start killing it. Anybody that say no, they sanction your country. He is telling you that's how they survive. That is their nature. That is the nature of Europe, the European. That is their nature. That is their culture. That is their norms. They do not believe in negotiation. He's trying to tell you their lies. There are people that you cannot believe. He said they're full of trouble. They destroy. You heard what he said. They do not believe in friendship, good governments. They don't care. It is about them. And the truth is, we said this here, and I'm going to say this again. I do not blame Europe or the West to care about the West. I don't blame them. You got to care for your own people, your race. What I blame is the black man do not care for the black man. The black leader do not care for the people that represent the lead. The black leader do not care about the nations they represent. The black leader do not care about the continent they call their continent. That is my frustration. My frustration is not about Europe loving Europe. The West loving the West. I don't care. They have to. What do you think? They should abandon and go love Africa? You expect the Chinese to abandon Asia to go love Africa? You expect the Indian to abandon India to go love Africa? You so-called Christian, you read the Bible. Love your neighbor as you love yourself. You know what I mean? Even though your neighbor came first in that sentence, love your neighbors as you love yourself. Even though the neighbor came first. But what is underlying in that sentence is, before you love anyone, you should love yourself first. If you don't love yourself, don't love no one. And when they say love yourself, it means your race. It is not talking about typically like yourself, like me. No. It is saying your race. And every race in the world understand that. Every race in the world understand that. It is only the black men who always want to take university. But the rest of the race, they don't think university. The Chinese do not. Before the Chinese think outside of China, they make sure China is well, good. Europe is well, good. The West, good. Look, that is why it is only the black men who always want to run from his place to other people's places. Most especially, it is the black men who always want to run from his place to other people's places. But the truth is, the black man is the most richest race on the face of the planet that have the blessed continent on the face of the planet. That the rest of the 7 continents and the rest of the other races want to go to exploit. If possible, if it could be, if there is a way that it can be, they will leave and go to live on the African continent. Oh yes, if they came and they destroy the native, the black folks that live here, destroy them and they settle. They try to do it in South Africa. That's why 1994, when Nelson Mandela became, 94, when Nelson Mandela became president, what happened? HIV started in South Africa. They started injecting HIV into the people. Because at that time they said HIV was the most, what they call things that would just destroy your thing. It started from there. HIV. They start putting it in black people. Why they ain't going to work? And then when they start doing tests, black people just affected. HIV in black people community. Not the white people community. And then before we know, it starts spreading now. They start taking it to Zambia, Zimbabwe. They start taking it in those regions. Biological warfare. We Africans, we don't know our enemies, but the rest of the people know their enemies. And the rest of the people, they don't think universally. Because they believe in a theory. Before you love anybody, love yourself first. Before you do things for anybody, make sure you are aware of. Make sure you are aware of. Before you help anybody, make sure you are aware help. Before you help anybody to stand up, make sure your strength, that's just what I mean. And because we don't love ourselves, we pretend to love other people, we can't be blessed. And we can't go nowhere. Because we destroy each other. And that is why even before the European or the West or sea in Africa or in black nation, It is the black men who will go and work. That is the hate. We don't love ourselves. And then after that, we leave from there, we complain. Africa can never go nowhere. We are this, Africa. No, we are the cause now. The Chinese put China first. They put Chinese first. Everywhere you go, businesses that you see, that Chinese, you will see there. Everywhere you go, businesses you see India, that India, you will see that. Maybe if the highest other nationality that to go in the backyard to go do the dirty work, then there, the dirty work then. That they feel they can't do, then they put you there to go do it. Think about that. Other nations are struggling, other continents are struggling because they put their priority first, their people first, their continent first, their nation first, before they think about anybody else. So you see what this professor, he's a professor, by the way, he's an economist. He wrote books. I don't want to go like I end the video, but in his book, as he was explaining, he said a lot of things, but that's not my business. But I just brought this so that you can see the reason why the West are going back to the African continent, because the Africa have always been a savior and we will always be the savior. But again, how long are we continuing to be the savior of people and then we can't save ourselves? And then at the end, we save other people, then they come out and mock at us. Then they say we are cursed. How can we be cursed, but we are the blessing? And then they are still coming to us to save them. And then we want to have that mentality, that belief mentality that we are cursed. Is it something we are missing? The same people say we are poor, the poorest continent, the poorest this, the poorest that, the poorest, but yet they stay. These people can leave us. Are we missing something? Yes, we are missing something because we hate each other. How many African leaders who are brave enough to go to Abraham Tuar or the Shahid nation and say, you know what, we see you doing the right thing? They know, they see it. These African leaders see it. They know it, that those nations are doing the right thing. But they are scared. Their slave master will call them out, will go for them. But the truth is, we are not worrying about this going to Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso, because we trust those leaders. We know what it stands for. We will not worry when they go to Nigeria, because we know nothing good will come from there. They will succeed. Because Tinubu is a puppet. He's a slave president. We know when they go to Liberia, another puppet. They go to Sierra Leone, another puppet, they will succeed. Ghana, I don't think for now. I don't think John Mahama will fall for that. We are following his leadership. We see what he's doing. But I don't know if I'm saying it. Let me say this. To the president of Ghana, I know you are not a military leader. All right? We believe in our military though. We believe in our military leader, Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso. But I will say this. We believe you are not a military leader because you came to power democratically, right? By the people, right? But what I want to say to you, Mr. President, let me say this. We love you, right? You are a human being. You might do some mistake down the line, but listen to us sometime when we speak. All right? You are a human being. You are going to do some mistakes. But let me say this. I know you did not come through coup or through military whatsoever, so you can't take away, foreign military or foreign military bases in Ghana. But let me say this, Mr. President, I beg you. If you will still be in power till the time the U.S. signed a military deal with Ghana, and that deal expire, you know what? I'm going to do some research because of that. I'm going to do some research on that. But let me say this. If you will still be in power till that military deal expire, don't renew it. Don't renew it. If the deal expire, do not renew it. And it is not only the U.S. Any military base in Ghana, if the deal expire, the tenure expire, do not renew it. Because before that deal expire, if your military are not strong, because I know most of those terminology, most of those terms and words in there was, we want to sign a deal to work with you to strengthen your military. But how long have that base or those bases been in Ghana that up to now your military are not yet strong to fight? Oh no, man. Up to now your military are not yet trained to fight? No, come on now. They should be. So when the U.S. term is expired, please send them home. If the Canadian term is expired, please send them home. The German, send them home. The Indian, send them home. Every base in there, send them home. The French, send them home. That is my advice. Let's continue. For now, we trust you. We believe in you. For now, we know you will not take the step of Nana Akufo-Addo, because Nana Akufo-Addo was horrible and terrible. Let's continue. Now, the truth is, folks, let me say this. We said it last week, and I will say this again. We are not saying if the U.S. want to negotiate with Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger, we are not saying we should say no. That's not what we say. But what we are saying here is, we have the cake. We are going to dictate over the cake. We are going to tell the U.S. which part of the cake to eat. We are going to tell Europe which part of the cake to eat. I mean, in our region. I'm not talking even Liberia. No. Liberia, the U.S. still got the cake. The U.S. still tell Liberian which part of the cake to eat. So I'm talking about Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso, because they are on a path that were allowed our emerging leader to take. I'm not talking about the current African, most of these slave leaders, but they are emerging, they are leaders who are seeing, who are reading, that will come, that will take position, that will take power, and that will learn from the model of how today Burkina Faso, how today the AES nation, they are about to be feeding the entire African continent with food. First time, it have never happened. But these leaders just took power 3 years ago, 4 years ago. But now look at them. Look at them. They are almost full self-sufficient. Unlike these so-called democratic. Democracy actually is settled on the African continent. Democracy is actually settled on the African continent. So we are not saying when they want to go to Mali, we should say no. let them go, and then we give them options. Let them go, we give them options. We're not hating nobody. No, we're not telling you, oh, don't come. Don't. No, no, no. When you come, we give you options. We tell you where you belong. We tell you where to go. Now, you like, take it. You don't like, leave it. Come back. Sit down. And other people will come. When you say global village, that is what global village means. If I give you my options, you don't like it, leave. Other people will come. And I give my option, they like it, they take it. That is global village. Global village is not where the U.S. come and impose its foreign policy. And then when you say no, then the U.S. post sanction. And then the U.S. will say, okay, you know what? We've got our aid. That is not global village. So the truth is, we don't very care what is awaiting these folks. Because what they saw yesterday, that is what they will reap. So we don't really care. We are just watching the process, how it goes. Because this is Africa time now. This is Africa time to dictate, to cut the cake. The United States was brave. Through Thomas Linda Greenfield, the ambassador of the United States to the UN. The United States spoke through Linda Thomas Greenfield that if Africa have a superpower on the United Nations will become dysfunctional. Folks, if people make statements like that, do you think they mean well for you? They mean good for you? Absolutely not. Even though somehow we don't believe in our so-called United Nations, we don't. Because since when have the United Nations ever made statement about the United States government? Since when the United Nations ever made statement about President Donald Trump? But the so-called United Nations, I don't know, Guterres or Huterres or Guterres, was brave enough to talk about the government of Burkina Faso. After Burkina Faso dismissed how to call it, political parties. And he said, these political parties are the issues of the African continent. Because if a leader is in power that is not in line to be puppet to the West, if a leader is in power that want to uphold the constitutional right of the people, the nation, the interest of the people, the US and Europe will go and sponsor opposition to go against the leader that had the interest and the vision of the nation. A leader that put its interest over the US foreign policy. The US will sponsor the opposition with propaganda and remove that leader through opposition political party. Abraham Traore went ahead and dismissed them. And when he did that, United Nations came to criticize Abraham Traore. Who gave you the guts to do that? Have you spoken about Trump? Have you spoken about the US? What makes you think what is going on in the US is better or is good? And what is going on in those nations, it is bad. What makes you think so? Who gave you the audacity? The hypocrisy of the United Nations. And the truth is, just how we are watching the so-called AU on the African continent, and I can assure you, the AU is already dead. And I can assure you with this. Look, you know who holding the AU? It is the old folks, these old current old folks still holding that thing called AU. That thing called AU. But I can tell you, these emergent leaders of Africans that are coming out, they don't already believe in our so-called AU. So the truth is, 10 years from now, the AU will be dead. Because the people that are holding the AU are the same old folks that are still holding that Western thing called AU. But the reality is, the new generation of Africans that are coming out to become the emerging leader, they don't believe in that AU no more. So that AU is dead. So 10 years from now, or 10 years from now, that AU will be dead. It will just be a name. Maybe we might be coming out with different entity to represent, because the AU does not represent the African continent. They represent Europe and America interests, because they are funded by Europe and America, just like ECWA. The same old folks still holding on to ECWA. But all of those entities, they are all dead. 10 years from now, they are all dead. Because the emerging leader will care less about AU or ECWA. Because if these emerging leaders are coming out and looking at Mali, Niger, Burkina Faso, what would they want to do with AU? What would they want to do with ECWA? The old folks are holding on to those things. That's why you still hearing it around, but they are dead. You know what? Let me play a video here from a young man in AU. In AU. So when we sit here, we know what is coming, and we have already studied, and we have the calculation in our head. So it is the same way that United Nations it's going to be dead. It's going to be dead the moment Africa sit rightfully. That United Nations will be dead. Look at what a young man said in the AU, and look at the reaction. Look what he said. You think we believe in a so-called AU?
On the 4th of September in the year 1797, a significant coup d'etat occurred within the French Republic, led by the military commander François Rapim. May 11th, 1798, coup d'etat in the French Republic, the law of Second Florian. That means November 9th, 1799, coup d'etat in the French Republic. Napoleon Bonaparte comes to power. December 2nd, 1851, constitutional coup d'etat in the French Republic. Napoleon Bonaparte stays in power just a few months before the end of his term, even though the Constitution of the Second Republic formally forbade it. May 13th, 1958, coup d'etat in the French Republic. General de Gaulle returns to power. History doesn't lie. History doesn't lie unless we let liars tell it. Even before Burkina Faso accepted independence, the French Republic had already experienced 6 coups d'etat.
If you're over 30 without life insurance, have you heard about this new type that pays you while you're still alive?
So understand that we are in version 2.2. Just consider that at the end of 2023, in the ranking of the 10 greatest Frenchmen of all time, and surprise, in second place, Napoleon Bonaparte, the putschist. In this version 2.2, when it's them, they're saviors. And when it's us, we're putschists. When it's them, they throw flowers. And when it's us, they impose sanctions. When it's them, it's the red carpet, the greatest man of all time. And when it's us, they get furious, and like chameleons, they change their colors. When it's them, democracy means letting the people choose. And finally, when it's us that the people choose, they say the people chose wrong. Democracy is free choice, and dictatorship is when something is imposed. But when democracy is imposed on us, isn't that also dictatorship? So yes, we do have a choice, but it's a choice between 2 dictatorships, the one hidden within the laws and the one that exposes the hidden laws. Don't confuse freedom with so-called libertinism. Don't ask a prostitute for marriage advice. They have double standards, malice and scheming. We can't choose between the two. They make our own scales for us. They practice the politics of the sorcerer, frightened to capture the soul. But when you try to capture a stallion, you should at least think better than a donkey. That's why they have... When they're the ones forming unions, there's no problem. But when we're the ones making an alliance, suddenly there's an issue. Yet the union of husband and wife is indeed the alliance that serves as both proof and symbol. That's why when we refuse, we say no. That's good, but it's not enough. In the realm of communities, when you refuse, you leave. And if those who leave are 2 or 3, well, it's those who stay who are in danger. They are happy and we are content. But when it's us, they can't stand it. For them, our riflemen died in battle. But when we are attacked, they do not speak out. Because they can't stand your smile, the joy of life in your children. They can't stand your future. As long as they don't see blood, they can't stand your peace. And your development bothers them. They do everything to get rid of you. They turn your dream life into a nightmare. So, are they friends or are they enemies? From now on, when facing enemies, we keep our hands firm. But you also need to look among your enemies for those who train them. That's why, from now on, we are determined to continue the struggle we are leading, to choose our own destiny. Because if you risk finding them, by finding them, you are taking a risk. And so you risk succeeding. By freeing this country from the colonial legacy, you also risk succeeding against the predictions of the pessimists. You risk building a proud and free Burkina. You risk finishing the job. What Sankara would have done if he had been allowed to live. In the end, we are here to make a choice. And I choose to take the risk. For the homeland, the family, the nation, and the struggle. I choose to take the risk. And make no mistake, we are a free people. But do not confuse freedom with so-called libertinism. Don't ask a prostitute for marriage advice. We are the alliance, the proof, and the emblem of what they call union. Thank you.
So that's it. What could have happened if Nkrumah was given a chance to lead Mother Ghana in Africa, to whom he said, the independence of Mama Ghana is meaningless unless all Africa is like Mama Ghana? What could have happened if Nkrumah was given a chance? What could have happened if US, Europe was going to work with Nkrumah? What could have happened if Patrick Lumumba was not going to be killed by the CIA? What would have happened if the US was going to work with Patrick Lumumba? What would have happened if Europe was going to work, if Belgium was going to work with Patrick Lumumba? What would have happened? What could have happened if France was going to work with Thomas Sankara? If US was going to work with Thomas Sankara, what could have happened? You know, I listened to a CIA file, a CIA video interview, and the CIA agent sat down there and run his thing mouth and said, the reason why they wanted Thomas Sankara out, CIA, a video that I watched, a CIA, the reason why they wanted Thomas Sankara out, the reason why they wanted Thomas Sankara dead was because Thomas Sankara was aggressive. So folks, the same way that CIA at that time that said they saw Thomas Sankara aggressive, it is the same way today. They still see you as Thomas Sankara. When you are fighting for your freedom, when you are fighting for your right, when you are fighting for your resources, when you are fighting for your nation, your people, your race, they still fought Thomas Sankara. The same fight Thomas Sankara fought, and they still fighting that same fight. They will say you are aggressive. The same way Malcolm X fought, and they call Malcolm an extremist. It is the same way you today, they will call you an extremist. So yes, we don't trust them. What could have happened if Amilcar Cabral, Guinea-Bissau, was not killed by the CIA? What could have happened to Africa? What could have happened to Guinea-Bissau? Today, I believe there wouldn't be a coup in Guinea-Bissau or election fraud in Guinea-Bissau. What would have happened if the United States, along with NATO, did not kill Gaddafi? What would have happened with the dream of Gaddafi, with the dream of Nkrumah, with the dream of Thomas Sankara, with the dream of Patrick Lumumba, with the dream of Amilcar Cabral? What could have happened? And then today, the US want to come to us, to Africa, to tell Africa we need to change the table. We need to renegotiate. Renegotiate what? You can only renegotiate what worked in the past for us. And maybe they not work for you. And then you can come by and say, listen, we brought this on the table. And it seemed it worked for you though, but it never worked for us. Can we renegotiate, please? But what is there to renegotiate? There is nothing to renegotiate. What is there to renegotiate is to remind us of who you are. What is there to renegotiate is to examine of who you are. What is there to renegotiate is to remind you of what you did to Nkrumah. What is there to renegotiate is to remind you of what you did to Gaddafi in recent time. What is there to renegotiate on the table is to say, wait a minute, what did he do in DRC Congo? What is there to renegotiate? It's to remind you and say, wait a minute, Europe and America and France, what did you do in Guinea-Bissau with Amilcar Cabral? It's to remind you. What is there to renegotiate? Because when we look at history, we have been renegotiating with the US over and over, changing policy, doing this. It have never worked. With Europe, it have never worked. Let's continue. You know what? Hold on. Let me show you something. You so-called Africans who don't understand the game. You know, you will talk about Singapore. Oh, look at Singapore. Oh, look at this. Oh, look at this. Oh, Singapore is built. But do you know, have you done a research? You have your phone, you have your internet, try to do something. Do you know the man that built Singapore? Do you know what he did? Do you know what he wanted to do to him? Let's see something here. Let's see something. We don't want to talk because we want to talk, all right? See something. The man you see there. The man you see there. You know that man name? It is the man that built Singapore. He is, or he was the man that built Singapore that you see today. Do you know? Let's watch that video. I mean, it's a 1 minute thing or any.
Why not, Mr. Prime Minister? Why do you think America?
Well, then I put it this way. I think there are highly intelligent, well-meaning often people, and some of their leaders, like Kennedy, the late president, had signs of growing greatness, depth. But, you know, by and large, the administration lacks depth and judgment or wisdom, which comes out of an accumulation of knowledge of human beings and human situations over a long period of time. That's lacking. And it's not their fault. What have they got? 300-400 years of history, and they've become a nation just recently. You know, I'll tell you this. I've had 3 experiences, and they did not intend any harm in each one of them. But the tragedy was they did real harm. First, this is old stuff now. We caught an American CIA agent trying to subvert our intelligence special branch officer. Bribe him so that the special branch officer will feed the CIA, because the CIA wants to know what's happening. I mean, subverting a Singapore officer. The man might have succeeded, but I'm proud to say that the officer offered large sum of money and continuing sums of money. This was in 1960. Refused and reported the matter to his chief, who reported it to me. Man was caught, locked up, and it was on razor's edge whether we charged him in open court or not. No, let me explain this. And I told the American government, all right, we keep quiet, you take this man away. $100 million to the Singapore government for economic development. I didn't tell, you know, I never spoke to the Americans direct because, you know, they lack the finesse and, you know, they may say, yes, hey, give it to you. Why not? Why should the Singapore government just give to you, to me, which would have ruined me? But through an intermediary, they offered me and my party $10 million. I mean, the insult, you know. I told them, keep it. I want to be quite frank with you here.
Why not, Mr. Prime Minister? Why do you think America?
Well, then I put it this way. I think there are highly...
I'll take that. All right. So the man you heard speaking, he's called Lee Kuan Yew. Lee Kuan Yew. All right. That's the, when you see Singapore like that today, that was the man. And listen to what he said. And this is what we've been saying. All foreign troops need to leave Africa. I'm telling you. And the purpose of the CIA, that's what the CIA was funded for. If an entity was funded for destruction, that's what that entity would be for. It will never change. It will never change. That's why it will be for. Their method might change. Their application might change, all right? Because of time period, because of how time have evolved, they will change their method that they used 60 years ago or around in 1960 or in that time. They will change because time have evolved, technology and knowledge and whatsoever and things. But that doesn't mean that entity is not still for destruction. That entity was formed for destruction, and it is still for destruction. But their method of destruction will change from how it was applied then. But it is still an entity for destruction. Look what he said. The CIA was set there to spy on them, to gather data, meaning about Singapore, how they were moving, how they were developing. Is that the same thing happening in Burkina Faso? Well, even US, France, Europe, they are surprised. This is a man, Burkina Faso, Mali, Niger. These are people who have refused IMF. IMF have gone there, gave them, and said, we back you. Can you imagine? IMF backing. These people said no. World Bank gone there, backing. No, get it, we need. They said, no, we don't need it. Imagine that. As they have been alleged, they send Nigerian Air Force to go there so that that Air Force have some data thing in it in Burkina Faso that Abraham Traore said. And then the French or whatsoever, they were sitting down somewhere monitoring it to gather data. But as sophisticated Burkina Faso was, they noticed and they brought that plane down. And they found equipment in there, link it to foreign national or whatsoever, the colonial master and things. They are colonial master. And then you having foreign bases in your country. You think it is in your interest? How long are they there to train you? When Boko Haram can leave, terrorists can leave. In fact, they the one funding the terrorists. They the one passing the information to the terrorists and things. But look at what Lee Kuan Yew said. The CIA was there to manipulate, to get information and things because they saw how Singapore, this man was laying the foundation of Singapore. They saw this man vision of Singapore. They said, no, we got to bring this man down. They sent the CIA there. Unfortunately for the CIA got caught. What then happened? The man said, before we can release these people, 1%, 100 million. The man said 1 million or 2 million or 3 million. 100 million. Now, you imagine how many million come from 100 for each person. And then what he said, the United States said, we'll give you 10 million. This man said to you, give 100 million for one person so we can build our country. Then you tell the man, no, we'll give you 10 million. And African leaders, they will run for that 10 million. An African leader will run for that 10 million. But after that, the US got afraid. They never sent CIA there again. They never sent nobody because these people were dealing with some kind of a level of sophisticated equipment or machine or whatsoever. They never sent CIA there. Today, look at Singapore. If not because of the same thing in Burkina Faso today, Abraham Traore would have been dead. But because of the level of sophistication, that's why today there have been many coup attempts, but all the highest ever in the history of Africa for us to be involved in coup attempt in Africa without numbers, and it never happened. It is because of the level of sophistication equipment Burkina Faso have. And to the who? Other people. So, do you see what we are saying here. Look, Africa, we have no friends. We have no nation in this war have friends. What you have is interest. If someone have your interest and they want to see you progress, you also have that person interest and you want to see that person progress. Other than that, it's zero. No friendship. Nobody should lie to you say we live in a global society. Don't get it twisted. There is no global society. No one should lie to you say we live in a global village. That's lie. There's no global village. It's fallacy. It doesn't exist. And the truth is it will never exist. Because the mind of man is evil. The mind of man is evil. It don't exist and it will never exist. We live in a global society. Who will want to kill Kwame Nkrumah? Who in this world will want to get Kwame Nkrumah out of power? Who in this world will want to get Thomas Sankara out of power? Who in this world will want to get Patrick Lumumba out of power? Who in this world will want to get Muammar Gaddafi out of power if we live in global society, in global village? Those were knowledge of Africa. Those people were Messiah of Africa. Those people were gods of Africa. People came and kill your Messiah. People came and kill your God. And then the same people come by and then they said they want to serve as Messiah for you. And you agree? Something wrong with you? They crucify your gods. They crucify your messiahs. And you sit down there, you pray to Caesar Borgia. Caesar Borgia or Bourgeois who? And you pray to a man. A man picture all around Caesar Borgia. You say now you pray to a white man. But this same man can't kill your Messiah and your gods. And then come say, are your God, are your Messiah. Then you pray. Yes, Caesar Borgia, forgive us, for talking against you because you killed Thomas Sankara. Forgive us for talking against you because you killed Patrick Lumumba. You killed Amilcar Cabral. Forgive us for talking against you because you killed Muammar Gaddafi. Stupidity. Craziness. Let's continue here. Let's see another video here. Let's see another video. The reason why the West are panicking and going to Africa, changing their voice, making it sound. But the same Bible warns us, be careful with them. Their voices are smooth and soft like butter, but war is in their heart. Sword is in their hands. Be careful with them. Just because a man speaks softly, a man spoke softly, a man shook your hand softly and kind, or a man shake your hand soft and kind. Just because a man smiled, always the smile is the nicest smile at the people that can come and stab you. You know that? And then they smile like a just like they don't really do nothing. But the one that can smile, that thing they do, Something is there that they're planning to do to you. But I listened to another person here. The reason why US, Europe, they are going to Mali, Niger, Burkina Faso, backing. Oh no, we want to see the West on their knee. And indeed, we will see you on your knee. Like I said last week, we are not going to stop giving Europe or the West aid. Africa will give you people aid. And we will give you aid. We will not mock you and say you are poor. We will give you aid. We will not come and take videos of poor places, ugly places, deplorable places and put on the internet. We will not do that. We care less to do with that. But we will give the USA aid. Africa will do it. There's nothing wrong of giving US aid. There's nothing wrong of funding Africa aid. They say you got USAID. There's nothing wrong with funding Africa AID and giving aid to US and giving aid to Europe. Nothing wrong with that. Absolutely nothing. Africa is willing to do that. But guess what? Leave the hell of Africa. Leave Africa alone. Let Africa do a thing. And then Africa will share with you. Because it is time for African children to benefit from their God-given resources. Do you know that the Bible says, thou art rich? But you don't even know it. My people perish because of the lack of knowledge. No. We know now we are not going to perish. We are going to share with Europe and the US or the West. Leave us alone. Then we do our thing. We will share with you when you can beg for aid. You have not yet begged, you will beg.
For love and support, I appreciate you all. What a day. And all in all, the Savior, the Protector, the Unifier, the Messiah, the King of Kings, the Most Loved, Captain Ibrahim Traore, is being recognized globally. People are seeing the good things that he's doing. He is rewriting history. For decades, the way we have partnered with other people and allow other people to have their way, he's changing the narrative. And it's not only Africa that is noticing. People outside of the black skin are seeing what this all in all is doing. According to this Frenchman, Captain Ibrahim Traore has brought a different dimension into African politics, changing the narrative, moving with the revolutionary power. And that Captain Ibrahim Traore is doing everything possible to set the rules. And with the rules, it's either you join or you move out. And otherwise, isn't ready to go by what our all in us are doing. And we've seen the tactics that they have used all these years on them, and it's not succeeding. And they will never get tired. That they always want to have their way when it comes to Africa. But Captain Ibrahim, what they think is right for us.
Ibrahim Traore no longer plays the role of military leader. He now targets the economic order. This is not a nuance. It is a qualitative transformation of the conflict between Africa and the West. Traore accelerates the renegotiation of mining contracts in Burkina Faso, increases the state's share in gold mines and strategic resources, and uses explicitly anti-French language focused on economic colonialism and Pan-African sovereignty. Official statements speak of economic reform, but behind the scenes, tough negotiations with Western companies are underway. And if this model is imitated in Mali, Niger, Guinea, the Africa-Western economic order wavers in succession. This analysis will show you why this maneuver is much bigger than it seems. Firstly, Traoré is doing something for the first time. He is not just taking on the role of a military coup leader, he is becoming a revolutionary targeting the economic order inherited from colonization. Secondly, gold is not just one resource among others, it is the dollar system, it is the balance of reserves of Western central banks. These are corporate interests that generate billions in profits. Thirdly, the alliance of the Sahel states creates coordination that protects its maneuvers. If Mali, Niger, and Burkina move together, the West cannot respond effectively. And fourthly, Western media use the label military junta to make Traoré's economic maneuvers invisible, thus avoiding creating the sympathy that a new Lumumba would generate. Let's start with what Traoré is concretely doing. Burkina Faso is speeding up the revision of mining contracts signed decades ago, contracts that give the Burkinabe state a minimal share of the revenues, often 10% or less, while foreign companies take 90% of the profits from gold exploitation. Traoré now says no, we want to increase the state's share. We want to renegotiate. And if the companies refuse, we have other options: nationalizations, expulsion, replacement with partners who accept the new conditions. Russia, China, Turkey are ready to accept conditions that Western companies refuse. So Traoré has leverage, he is not isolated, he has alternatives, and Western companies know it. And the language used is revolutionary, not technocratic. Economic colonialism, these words are deliberately chosen because they resonate with African populations who...
Not only Burkinabe or Sahelian. It is a call that crosses borders. And Traoré thus builds a legitimacy that goes beyond Burkina Faso, positioning himself as the leader who dares to say what many think, but dare not express: our resources belong to us. We will no longer be exploited. Sovereignty begins with economic control. And now, the historical dimension. This pattern is not new. Patrice Lumumba did it in Congo in 1960. Targeting Belgian control of mining resources. Assassinated 6 months after his election. Thomas Sankara did it in Burkina Faso itself in 1983, nationalizing resources and reducing dependence on French companies. Assassinated in 1987. Muammar Gaddafi did it in Libya, nationalizing oil. Killed in 2011. The pattern is clear. African leaders who target the order economic do not generally survive long. Either overthrown by coups or assassinated, or destroyed by economic sanctions that make their country ungovernable. And Traoré knows this history. He knows what happened to Lumumba, to Sankara, to Gaddafi. And he does what he does anyway. But what makes the current situation different is the regional context. Traoré is not alone. The alliance of Sahel states, Mali, Niger, Burkina Faso now form a coordinated bloc that has left ECOWAS and can coordinate not only military policies, but also economic policies. If Traoré increases the state's share in gold mines in Burkina Faso, Mali can do the same with its own mines. Niger can do the same. And if these three countries move together, it is much harder for Western companies to retaliate. They cannot sanction 3 countries simultaneously without massive loss. They cannot organize 3 coups at the same time. They cannot assassinate 3 leaders simultaneously. Coordination creates structural protection. And now, the stakes for the West gold is not simply an extractive resource among others. It is a strategic asset that underpins the global financial system. Western central banks hold gold as the ultimate reserve. The dollar system relies partly on gold as a guarantee of last resort, and Western mining companies generate billions in profits from the exploitation of African gold. If Africa begins to renegotiate mining contracts en masse, 3 structural consequences occur. First, corporate profits collapse. If the state's share goes from 10% to 50%, companies lose 40% of their revenue and certain operations become unprofitable, forcing withdrawals. Second, gold supply becomes complicated. If African countries nationalize or expel Western companies and replace them with Russian or Chinese partners, the West loses control of the supply chain. Third, the precedent becomes dangerous. If Burkina Faso succeeds, other countries will try, not only in the Sahel, but in Central Africa, in East Africa, wherever there is gold, copper, cobalt, uranium. And now, the Western media response. A strategic invisibilization. Western media systematically used the label military junta for Traore, which produces 2 effects. First, it delegitimizes. Junta means illegitimate. Military means undemocratic. So everything Traore does becomes automatically suspect.
Lose 45 pounds and become unrecognizable by spring. On Monday, February 16th, starting the...
Second, it makes economic maneuvers invisible. When the media talk about Traore, they talk about security, coups d'état, violence, but never about renegotiating mining contracts or economic sovereignty. This invisibilization is strategic, because if Western media told the economic story of a young African leader taking back control of his country's resources from Western companies, it would create sympathy. This story resonates with African populations, with populations of the global South, even with certain Western populations who criticize extractive capitalism. So, Western media avoid this story and prefer the narrative of the unstable military leader. And the parallel with Lumumba becomes relevant. Patrice Lumumba became an icon in Africa, not because he won, but because he dared to say that Congo's resources belong to Congo. Defying Belgium, speaking of economic sovereignty, his death created a symbol of resistance, dignity, refusal of exploitation. And now, Western media do not want to create a new Lumumba. They do not want to create a martyr or a symbol. So they try to present Traore as something different. Not a revolutionary or a hero, just a military strongman or an authoritarian leader. This narrative is an attempt to control the story before it becomes uncontrollable. And escalation 75% probability within 24 to 72 hours. 3 possible triggers. First, a Western mining company engages in an open standoff, refuses to renegotiate, threatens to withdraw, mobilizes lobbies to press its government to intervene. This public standoff forces Traore to show his strength with a nationalization or an expulsion, creating a precedent that makes other countries bolder. Secondly, threat of sanctions. If a Western government threatens Burkina Faso with economic sanctions because of mining renegotiations, this transforms the conflict from a confrontation between Traore and private companies into a confrontation between Traore and states, creating a dynamic of national sovereignty, where Burkinabe populations rally behind Traore and other African countries, see this confrontation and pick their side. Thirdly, coup d'état or assassination attempt against Traore. If accusations emerge that a coup or an assassination attempt was organized against Traore because of his economic maneuvers, this immediately activates the parallel with Lumumba and Sankara, creating a massive mobilization because African populations know this history and know what happens to leaders who defy the economic order. And Traore's allies Russia, Wagner, China, Turkey are not motivated by altruism, but see a geopolitical opportunity. If the West loses control of African resources, someone else will control them, and they want to be that someone else. So, they offer Traore what the West cannot offer. No political conditions, no lessons on democracy, no sermons on human rights, just business, and Traore uses this competition, but puts them in competition. If French companies do not want to renegotiate, Russian companies will do it. If Canadian companies leave, Chinese companies come. This competition gives Traore a power that no African leader has had for decades. The power to choose, the power to say no, the power to negotiate, and now the domino effect. If Traore succeeds in renegotiating mining contracts without being overthrown or killed, Mali is watching, Niger is watching, Guinea is watching, and they see that it is possible, that the economic order can be challenged, that contracts inherited from the colonial era can be renegotiated, that economic sovereignty is not just a slogan, but an achievable policy. And if these countries follow, the domino effect begins, not just gold, but copper, cobalt, uranium, oil. All African resources currently exploited under unfavorable contracts become targets for renegotiation. And if this happens on a large scale, the Africa West economic order wavers, Western companies lose their preferential access, prices rise, supply chains reorganize, and the West loses a strategic advantage it has maintained for centuries. And the generational dimension. Traore is 37 years old. He represents a generation that is not afraid, that has no nostalgia for the old order, that owes nothing to the elites who collaborated with the West for decades. This generation looks at history and draws different conclusions. It does not ask for permission. It does not negotiate politely. It demands, and it is ready to take risks that the previous generation was not ready to take. And this generation is not alone in Burkina Faso. It exists across Africa, in young military officers, in Mali, in Niger, in Guinea, in young activists in Kenya, in Nigeria, in South Africa, all sharing a frustration.
All right. So, you like Traore? You don't like Traore? That's your business. We love him. Yes, we love him. Like I said, we're not going to say, oh, we don't want to talk to the US. We don't want to talk to Washington, D.C. We don't want to talk to Washington, D.C. government officials, Congress. No, we will talk to you. We will talk to you. Just like how we talk to any other people. Yes. Why we would not want to talk to you? The point here is, just like how we gave conditions to other people, we will give Washington, D.C. conditions. We'll give Europe conditions. Your terms are out. We allow you to come in, and you came very arrogant, according to what this professor said in the previous video we watched. So we are cutting a cake. And I said before, the older generation, the older folks are the people still holding on to the so-called AU and the so-called ECWA. But the truth is, this new generation coming out, like I said, 10 years from now, 10 years from now, that AU, you will not see this newer generation in leadership position talking about holding AU. It's not going to happen. You will not see this newer generation in power talking about holding ECWA. It's not going to happen. The only way it will happen unless that newer generation or that leader don't carry on the idea or the model of Mali, Niger, Burkina Faso for a people that who or he serve. Then you will go with holding ECWA for the West or holding AU for the West. But nobody cares. This generation, we don't care about that so-called AU. It's nothing. That so-called ECWA is nothing. We don't believe in it. as long as you are not fighting for African interests, we don't care. What was the statement of AU or ECWA of Guinea-Bissau recent election time? Nothing. What was the statement of AU Tanzania when that lady rigged the election? In fact, AU went and congratulated the lady. The list can go on. AU, what was the statement of AU of Cameroon? Pombia. When Pombia rigged the election again, what was the statement? Congratulated Pombia, who is now 94 years old in power. 6 more years for Pombia to be 100 years. So Pombia, because he just won an election. So that means if Pombia live up to 100, Pombia going to be 100 years old and still the Cameroonian president. What was the statement from AU? They congratulated Pombia, who rigged the election. But yet they stay, when leader come out to take power and say this is not right, then that's the time AU come out to make statement. When leader come out to love the nation and say, no, we got to do the right thing, AU come to make statement. But AU did not make statement about Pombia, who got 6 more years to be 100 years old. What Pombia pee on himself. AU congratulated Pombia for breaking the election when Pombia pee and poo on himself. Pombia does not know when to brush his mouth. Someone had to brush his mouth. Pombia does not know if it is time to go to bed. Pombia does not know if it is time to wake up. Pombia does not know if it is night. Pombia does not know if it is daylight. Unless people tell him. But still, he don't even know. He'll be like, what are you talking about? I remember Pombia was in Washington, D.C. for the so-called America or Africa agro whatsoever. It was Pombia time to speak. Pombia did not know that he was in America. He never knew. Pombia did not know that he was in America to speak. He did not know. He never knew. Pombia had a speech in his hand, but he did not know that he had speech in his hand. To the extent his security, his personal aide went to him and said, it is time for you to speak. Pombia said, Then he said, you have the speech in your hand. Pombia looking at the speech. Looking at it, confused. He don't know what to do. Pombia, 94 years old, 6 more years to be 100. Pombia is still the president. The so-called AU said nothing. Yoweri Museveni rigged the election. AU said nothing. And then you want for this generation coming out to still go whole AU for what? Let's continue here. Abraham Traore lived over 100 years. The AES, the 3 kings, they will live over 100 years. And will keep them in power. Those are the people that need to be in power. But here it is now. Europe, US, they are now going, they are now sneaking behind the back door, going to Mali, Niger, Burkina Faso to talk to them, to beg them for resources. Why African leaders, these puppets, these slaves, don't want to talk to their brother? These slaves don't want to talk to their brothers. But the US and Europe, they are passing behind the door, behind the door, going Mali, Niger, Burkina Faso, begging for aid, begging for resources. Let's renegotiate. We beg you. We wrong. We recognize our mistake. But listen, we don't want for the other African slave, the other African slave leader to know that we are here. Because if they notice that we are here begging you for aid, what they're going to do, they will ally with you, they will come and do the same thing, and they will become hard for us. Then we will have to go to many people to beg them. So we beg you, don't let them know that we're here. Those African slaves, those African leaders who are slaves, don't let them know that we're here because we passed through the back door to come here. Anyway, let's go to Senegal. Let's go to the French. Let's go to France. Okay, this is very short. All right, that's BBC. Now, let's read something here. Senegal arrests 14 members of alleged pedophile and gang linked to France. Senegal arrests 14 members of alleged pedophile gang linked to France. Now, let me say this first. Let me say this. Do you know what baffled me in this whole article when I read it? Do you know what came to me like first of all, it is not like what bothered me. It wasn't about the 14 French men that was arrested or whosoever that was arrested or the French people that was linked to this thing, right? It didn't bother me. What bothered me here is the Senegalese, the Africans in Senegal, on the ground in Senegal, who were communicating with these French HIV. And then who were putting 14, 15 years old girls and boys together and then allowing these tourists, I mean, they are tourists anyway. I don't even want to call it tourists. These tourists to go to Senegal. And then these people having fun and affair with them. 14 years old girl, 15 years old girl, boys. Having an affair with them and putting HIV in them intentionally. That is what baffled me. I didn't care about those French people or whosoever, but those people could not have succeeded if the Senegalese did not put this together. That's my frustration. That's where my frustration coming from. My frustration is not about the French because we already know who these people are. My frustration is, my frustration go to the Senegalese. My frustration go to the Senegalese in Senegal that put this thing together. 15 years old girls, 14 years old girls and boys, and then allowing these tourists, I don't want to call them tourists, to come and have fun with them and then infect these babies. That's where my frustration coming from. I don't have time for these people because I know who they are. I know who they are playing. Because on the show before, some years back, then we show a French journalist speaking about how deliberately they took HIV on the African continent and then they start injecting it into people and then saying they were giving it injection for prevention of certain things. But now HIV, they was putting into Africans in the video. And then he said they did it because they was doing it to reduce the population of Africa because of African resources. That was a French journalist. And then, in fact, not a journalist, but he was a doctor, a French doctor. That was saying that a French doctor said they went to Africa, they took HIV in a syringe, and then they injected in Africans. They went to various African nations. They start injecting HIV in Africans, and then they were saying it was a vaccine. They start injecting HIV. He said it, a French journalist. So my frustration, it don't go to them. It go to the African who mobilized this thing in Senegal. That's where my frustration coming from. And if these people should even be punished, look, these Senegalese that did that, in fact, they should be slaughtered. Or maybe I shouldn't use that word here, right? Before they black out video, right? All right. But you know what I mean. Yes, for real. Those Senegalese should don't spare them. My frustration is not about those French. We know who those people are. We know who they are already. We know what they have been doing. We know what history has told us. The syphilis experiment, in fact, was not even experiment. Syphilis was deliberately injected into Africans. We know who these people are. So my frustration is not to them. My frustration goes to the African who know these things and then they still put their people in harm's way. Because of money, that's where my frustration is coming from. So these people, all of them should be by those Senegalese. If I am the Senegalese government, I'm telling you, look, I will put on firing squad, put biscuit into them. I don't care. Because you destroy generation. You destroy leaders that's supposed to lead Senegal into Africa at large. You destroy them because of money. Let's read. Senegalese police says they have arrested 14 people and broken up a pedophile gang. I mean, gang, imagine. Not gang for something different. Not gang to go and take how do you call it, your minds that are being operated by white people, by foreigners. Not gang for that. But pedophile gang for these people. Let's read. I don't want to take a long time on this because let's read. I'm going to read. I'm not going to take a long time. Trust me, because I really want to talk about this. But I have to bring it out to remind our people. Because when they see the white man in Africa, they feel that Jesus Christ has arrived. And what is going on in Africa, right? Look, the entire African continent have been polluted with HIV. Do you know that in Africa, a black man will be talking to, a black man will want to speak to a black woman. That black woman will ignore that black man just because he's black or African. He will ignore the stupidity. But once they see a white man, as soon as the white man say, hi, hey, in fact, they will now go and introduce themselves to the white man. A Russian content creator, have traveled to almost all of Africa, infecting people, girls with HIV. He went to Ghana, folks. He went to Ghana. What we are dealing with here is biological warfare in every way. He went to Ghana as a tourist, got a hotel in one of the most prestigious hotels in Ghana. And then he will come down the hotel, right around the hotel, around the mall. He will go there and then see girls. As soon as he said hi, and these girls, I don't know what's wrong with our girls. If a black man say hi, then in fact, they will want to stone you with rock. But the moment they see that color, that pale skin, it's like something different. All the video, and this content creator have a watch that is a recorder. So it's not like he was going with a phone and then he's recording. No, he have a watch. And the watch have a recorder. Also have a glass, right? His shade have a recorder. So that's why he was recording all these things going on. So in Ghana, he went to Ghana, he went to Nigeria and infected people in Nigeria, infected girls in Ghana, infected girls in Nigeria, infected girls in Kenya. He went to Kenya. And those are the places people know about. Because Those are the videos he posted. So what he do is, this is what he do. He targeted Africa, right? So that's what he did in Ghana. Let me just explain. That's what he did in Ghana, in Nigeria, in Kenya, in all the other places, video that he have posted, that have come out, right? What I'm telling you is, these men have gone over 700-800 African women, infected them, all the places he gone. Now, as for the HIV part, I have not done a research, right? But almost everything that I have sold, like I have not gone on the internet to do research to see medically, but everything that I have saw, everything that I saw, right? They all said he had HIV. Okay? So in Ghana, the hotel he was staying in, one of the best hotel, I'm telling you, right? So he will, and the mall is right there. So he will go down there and then see a girl, hey, hi, well, he like a Russian accent. Hi. Then you'll see the girls then. Oh, hey. Then you'll be like, what's your name? My name is this. What's your age? Oh, this. Oh, okay. Can I talk to you? I want to know you better. Or can you come to my hotel? Yes. Then he will carry the girls to the hotels. And then he will tell them, see, this is where I stay. Look at my hotel. Look at my room. Look at this. And then right there, he's gonna have them. And then he's recording. Even the watch or the glass is recording. So he's having sex with them, recording them, unprotected. And then after that, he will post this video on his page to make money. Then he will sell the video as well. He will sell the video, right? And then he also posted on his page. So he was making money out of it at the same time, infecting these girls, unprotected sex. Not only he got HIV. So he will do that, sell the videos, and then also post the video on his page. He have a page there, and then people go and pay. So he have a page there. People pay and all those things. So the money coming to him. And then he sell the video as well. So all these Ghanaian girl or African girl, let me put it this way, all these African girl you have sex with, unknown to them, because they think that he's a white man now. When this white man travel, this white man going to send for her or send for, whatsoever. And then the white man going to support them, whatsoever the situation, to the extent in Ghana, the reason why he escaped Ghana was because one of the girl he took to the hotel. He slept with the girl the whole night. The girl took Uber because he met the girl first in the mall, whatsoever they talk. He get a girl number, so then when he called the girl came, the girl took Uber, came over, they slept there the whole night, have sex with this girl, recording it at the same time. Then the next day now, for the girl to leave, he don't want to pay the girl the whole night. He don't want to pay the girl. Then the girl came. Then in the video, in one of the videos, you can see that the poster, you can see the girl even arguing, but they didn't put the pornographic part. But yeah, because of YouTube thing, they didn't put the other part. But the part where the girl is telling him, "You slept with me for the whole night. You don't want to pay me. I took my Uber. I came here. You did not pay the Uber. I'm gonna, call police. I'm gonna take this against you. You got to pay me. You slept with me the whole night. You didn't pay me. I took Uber. I came. You didn't pay me." And that's how he was able to escape Ghana, because there was tension. So when he escaped Ghana, he went to Kenya. And I think he came from Nigeria even before going to Ghana. And then from Ghana, he went to Kenya. But fast forward, he got arrested anyway. He's arrested. But I learned he had HIV. So you're having sex with these people, putting it on his page, and then at the same time sending the video to a pornographic website. You see that? So there's a biological warfare going on all around. Through vaccine, through needle, through penetration. You think about it. I didn't want to talk about this, but I have to talk about it as well for awareness of our brothers and sisters on our continent, or even in Black nation. When they see the white, the pale skin, they think heaven has come. They behave different. Even in the US here, our own sisters, they're here too. When they see that other side, in fact, when our own African sisters are dating the other people, the other race, they behave different. The respect is different than when they're dating their own race. These are facts. Our own African sisters, when they're dating the other race, the behavior is different. The respect is different. The calmness is different. The way they talk is different. And that even go to the men too. The men too, when the men too dating the other race, they respect different, they talk different, the calmness different, the treatment, different. Why we hate ourselves so much? Anyway, let's continue. There's awareness. When you see these people on the African continent, you don't know what they're coming with. Be careful. They are coming with agenda. Let's read here. Let's read. Let's read. Okay. Now, Senegalese police say they have arrested 14 French people. Anyway, I read that, so I don't want to read it. So let's read here. Those arrested, who are all Senegalese, were part of a transitional criminal group that has been in operation since 2017, according to police statement. Now, imagine since 2017. And these French tourists that was going to Senegal, according to the article of what we have read, what we have seen, majority of them were HIV patients. So basically, it is a movement to destroy Africa. So people already in the Western world know that, hey, they are HIV positive, right? You know what? Say we are fighting to depopulate the African continent or the African race, there's an opportunity to infect them with disease. And then in doing that, they got some African, they got in connection with some African or some Senegalese. Now, because this is just Senegal, this is not only Senegal. I bet you this is even going on in Liberia, but it's just Liberia story have not come out. I bet you there are people in Liberia that are doing this. Having Liberian children, they're putting in Liberian children, and then these people come and have them. I bet you. Just because that story of Liberia haven't come out, I bet you it's there. I bet you it's in Ghana. I bet you it's in Nigeria. I bet you it's in these African countries. But just like Senegal have been the one to come out. But if it is happening in Senegal, it's happening in other African countries. But just the news have not yet come out. And some African countries, the news will never come out. Imagine, since 2017. So you should imagine, oh my God, let's continue here. It is said the group was accused of organized pedophile, pimping, rape of minor under 15, sodomy, and intentional, look at this, folks, intentional transmission of HIV/AIDS. Intentional transmission of HIV/AIDS. You know, and let's go to our people on the African continent, to Black nation. Most of these stories that you will see coming on the African continent, coming into your nation or to your nation, they are not safe. Most of these tourists, now I'm not saying tourists have HIV. No. This is awareness. When you see these tourists coming, don't go open yourself. Or they bring in US dollar, or they bring in pound, or they bring in Australian dollar, or they bring in days. Look at this statement. Let me read this statement again. It is said the group was accused of organized pedophile, pimping, rape of minors under 15, sodomy, and intentional transmission of HIV/AIDS. They allegedly reported false boys. They allegedly reported false boys. The false boys to have unprotected sex with men who were mostly HIV positive and feigned it. So these French people with HIV went to Senegal, went to Africa, and these girls were recruited by Senegalese, lied to them because of circumstances, because of poverty, because of hard life. Lie to them that you can make some money. These are people who have money. And then knowingly that these people, these French nationals, these foreigners, these tourists have HIV knowingly. And then came, have unprotected sex with these boys and girls. And in fact, they were forced. Some of these boys were kidnapped and forced. And then these French nationals have HIV, have unprotected sex with these girls, and then they fame them. I will take this out. I don't want to read the whole thing because it hurt me, it's paining, I'm angry. I'm not going to read the whole thing. But I'm just reading it for awareness. Those African nations we get to, let it get there. Those who want to listen, let them listen. But that's what I have to give. I'll play a video here. Those who want to stay be here, they can be on. But let me just play something here. I love this video here, right? Because sometimes what was used to destroy you, right? You have to use that same thing to destroy what or who used it to destroy you. So that's why this video. But we're actually out. We're done for the
U.S. and migration and these eyes. What's about it?
Well, America calls anyone that's not Caucasian male, they call illegal immigrants. Let me show you what America did.
Okay.
Micah chapter 2, let's start at verse 1. I'm going to show you the biblical history, which is also prophecy of what occurred.
And they covet fields and take them by violence.
They covet fields and take them by violence. So how did the white man get America? They took it by violence. Go ahead.
And houses and take them away.
The houses that were here, they took them away. Go ahead. He's calling the people that rightfully own the land aliens. You're an illegal alien. Now they have, they said we need to get rid of the immigrants because the immigrants are terrorists. That's what they're trying to say. The Mexicans are not terrorists. The Africans that come to America are not terrorists. They must take an Afghan refugee.
Hi, Mrs. Thompson.
He's not just Afghans who helped us. America has been very violent. Even ISIS attacking the Somali community in the United States of America. But now, once I show you this article, you're going to find out why a lot of Somalians are in America.
U.S. bombed Iraq, Syria, Pakistan, Afghanistan, Libya, Yemen, Somalia in 2016.
Now, you see these 7 countries that America bombed in 2016. Many of these people have been allowed to live in the United States of America. I'm going to show you that in Bible prophecy.
All right.
This is Al Jazeera. Under Trump, U.S. strikes on Somalia have doubled since last year. Why?
Somalians have been coming in since 1990, but it's an increase since this has been happening. America bombs your country, then allows the remnants of those countries to come live in America. You know how dangerous that is? Colombia has the most oil of all countries. America says, you know what? We want that oil, but we can't just take it. Let's just say, oh, I know. He's a drug dealer. Yeah.
Woe to him that increaseth that which is not his.
Go ahead.
How long?
How long shall this go on? That's the question Habakkuk is asking. How long, Lord, will this continue? Look at those Mexicans. Get them out of the country. Look at those Africans. Get them out of the country. Look at those Caribbeans. Get them out of the country. What about those Arabs? No, they can stay. That's God's plan, though. I see that's God's hand in this thing.
Is European Union turning against the USA?
This is what happened. America, Trump says we want to take Greenland. Denmark says, but we're a part of the EU. We own Greenland. So Trump says, no, but it's closer to us. It's a better military post for us. We're going to take it. Denmark says, leave Greenland alone. So what does Denmark do?
Good morning, good afternoon, depending on where you're watching us from. It's another beautiful day. It's around 11 p.m. Kenyan time. Welcome to another episode. My name is Temi from Kenya. And in the show tonight, I'm so privileged to be hosting Bishop Nathaniel all the way from US. And whenever you see him, just know we're going to be learning a lot of things. We go deeper into the Bible. So without further ado, I'll let him say hi to you and tell us whether he's okay, because in the US, there are so many things going on. Welcome, Bishop.
Thank you for having me, Chemi. Right now, I'm in London.
Oh.
I'm in London. Yes. With the king and the queen out here. No, there's no queen out here, I don't think. Is there a king? I think these people cried when the queen died. I cried and that guy cried. Stop crying.
Right.
I didn't like y'all anyway.
How have you been?
I'm well. I am well. And I pray everyone is well out there in Kenya as well.
Yes, we are well. I am. Personally, I'm okay.
Good. Very good.
Yes. Are you okay? We see so many things happening in the US, migration and these ICE things.
Yes.
What's about it?
Well, America calls anyone that's not Caucasian male, they call illegal immigrants. They call illegal aliens. But I'm going to show you, give me Lamentations 5:1. I'm going to show you what God says about them. Remember, America is stolen land. Okay, they didn't vote for America. They stole America from the Native American Indians, which is the biblical tribe of Gad and Reuben and Issachar. Those three tribes had America. The Mexicans had California. What else is over there by California? New Mexico, they had that. Texas, they had that. Reuben, the tribe of Reuben, which are the Seminole Indians, had the Florida. They had that area. And the tribe of Gad, North American Indians, had the top part. And America came in. And first, before we go, I'm going to show you what America did. Get Micah 2:2. Let me show you what America did.
Okay.
Micah chapter 2. Let's start at verse 1. I'm going to show you the biblical history, which is also prophecy of what occurred.
They don't want you to know about it.
Hey, did you know you might get a big cash payout if you were in a car accident up to 1 year ago, even if you weren't driving?
Micah says, Micah chapter 2 and verse 1. Woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds.
Woe to them that devise iniquity. Iniquity means evil, sin.
Yes.
Go ahead.
When the morning is light, they practice it.
When the morning is light, they practice it. So those who practice evil, when the morning time comes, then they bring forth the evil that they devised before. Go ahead.
Because it is in the power of their hand.
When the white man came to this land, they had power. They had power of the gun. Okay. No more bow and arrow, no more sword. They had guns. Go ahead.
And they covered fields and take them by violence.
They covered fields and take them by violence. So how did the white man get America? They took it by violence. Go ahead.
And houses and take them away.
The houses that were here, they took them away. Go ahead.
So they oppress a man and his house even a man in his heritage.
So they oppress a man and his house, even a man in his heritage. So now you have white people saying that they're Native American Indians. They're called, that's what's called $5 Indians, where they paid something into the what's called the Dawes Act, DAWES, and they said, oh, they're one because their forefathers raped many Native American Indians. They said, oh, I'm a Native American Indian now. No, you're not. You raped those women, and now you're like 1/3. So they said that they're Native American Indians, but they're not. Okay, so they took this country, America, by violence. Okay, that's what I want to see. Now watch this, Lamentations 5:1.
Lamentations chapter 5 and verse 1. Remember, O Lord, what has come upon us.
So remember, O Lord, what has come upon the Israelites. Go ahead.
Consider and behold our reproach. Our inheritance is turned to strangers.
See that part right there? Our inheritance, which is our land, is turned to strangers. The strangers at that time was ancient Babylon. This time, it's the children of Babylon. It's Esau Edom, the so-called white man. Go ahead.
Our houses to aliens.
See what God is calling these other nations? Aliens.
Yeah.
Aliens. So now what the white man has done, he's calling the people that rightfully own the land aliens. You're an illegal alien. Now they have, they said we need to get rid of the immigrants because the immigrants are terrorists. That's what they're trying to say. The Mexicans are not terrorists. The Africans that come to America are not terrorists. Okay. Watch this. They're looking at the wrong immigrants to kick out of the country. Nahum 3:13. Watch what the Bible says. Nahum 3:13. Nahum chapter 3 and verse 13. Watch this.
Nahum chapter 3 and verse 13. Behold, thy people in the midst of thee are women. The gates of thy land shall be set wide open unto thine enemies.
That's the part I want you to see. The gates of thy land shall be set wide open unto thine enemies. Go ahead.
The fire shall devour thy bars.
The fire, destruction shall devour thy bars, the bars of that city. A couple of years ago, America allowed about 30,000. Y'all can find, if y'all find an article about the Afghanistanis that were allowed to come to America, okay, there were thousands of them. They were not properly vetted. They were not vetted to see what was their background. Not just that, not just them. You had people from Libya. You had many Arabs that came over to this country.
Yes, the Arabs.
Right. Some of them have a history of terrorism. I'm not saying all Arabs are terrorists, but I am saying most terrorists are Arabs. So read it again. Nahum 3:13.
Behold, thy people in the midst of thee are women,
meaning fearful.
The gates of thy land shall be set wide open unto thine enemies.
Good.
The fire shall devour thy bars.
So it said, the gates of thy land shall be set wide open unto thine enemies. So now these people that America has dropped bombs on, like from Yemen, people from what's this other country, Libya, they're here, Afghanistan, they're here now. They're here in America, and many of them have backgrounds in terrorism. Yes. See the article right there? Can you fill a screen with that? Can y'all fill a screen? Yeah. America must take in Afghan refugees, not just Afghans who helped us. Raise it up.
Watching the artist.
Those all Afghans. All Afghans. Can you raise it up to the first paragraph so I can you read that?
Yes, sir.
You read that first paragraph there?
It was easy to open our doors to Afghan refugees 40 years ago because they were fleeing our adversaries, the Soviets. This time around, it may be tempting to forget the Afghans because, after all, those of us not from military families had the luxury of rarely thinking about Afghanistan despite our nearly 20-year war there.
So many of them, I'm not saying all of them, but many of them have a violent history in terrorism, and they're in the United States of America. But what is Trump doing? Oh, look at those Africans, get them out of the country. Look at those Haitians, get them out of the country. Look at those Jamaicans, get them out of the country. Look at those Mexicans, get them out of the country. He's not saying, look at those Arabs. He's not saying that. Those are the people he need to be worried about. Hey, I'm gonna show you what they did. Give me the article that says America bombed 7 countries in 2016. Find me that article. USA bombs 7 countries. I'm gonna show you what they did. America has been very violent. Even ISIS attacking the Somali community in the United States of America. But now, once I show you this article, you're gonna find out why a lot of Somalians are in America.
Oh,
An article yet?
I've been wondering.
Let's take a look. Yes, make that big. Read that, Nehemiah.
U.S. bombed Iraq, Syria, Pakistan, Afghanistan, Libya, Yemen, Somalia in 2016.
Now, you see these 7 countries that America bombed in 2016. Many of these people have been allowed to live in the United States of America. Many of the remnants of the people of Iraq, the remnants of Syria, Pakistan, Afghanistan, Libya, Yemen, and Somalia, they are allowed to live in the United States of America. Find me the article that says Somalia bombed in 2024 or 2025. Google that. Because Trump recently bombed Somalia. And get Habakkuk 2. I'm going to show you that in Bible prophecy.
All right.
So it's very paramount that our people pay very close attention to what's happening in the news. Okay? Don't think it's a fluke. It's very important that we are aware of what's happening in the news, because much of what's happening in the news is written in the Bible. Prophecy. Written in ancient time. I can't see. Yes, put that on the screen. Read that.
This is Al Jazeera. Under Trump, U.S. strikes on Somalia have doubled since last year. Why?
Read that next one.
As Trump hits the Horn of Africa, experts caution against drone strikes, saying the U.S. needs to invest in long-term peace building.
So notice last year, attacks on Somalia have doubled. This is what brought the Somalians have been coming in since 1990, but is an increase since this has been happening. America bombs your country, then allows the remnants of those countries to come live in America. You know how dangerous that is? Imagine this, Chemi. Your mother, your father, your sons and daughters are murdered by bombings. Now America says to you, you can come live in America and have a good life. Wouldn't you still be angry that America just bombed and murdered your mother, your father, your sisters and brothers? You'd be furious. Anyone in your life would be furious. And I'm going to get my payback. I'm going to get my payback. Watch what the Bible says. Watch what the Bible says in Habakkuk 2 and 5. Let's start there. Start at 4.
Habakkuk chapter 2 and verse 4. Behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him, but the just shall live by his faith.
The white man's soul is not upright in him. He'll say he's Christian. He'll say he's Jew. God says his soul is not upright in him. You cannot conform him to have a conscience. You cannot conform him to make him feel sorry for people. He does not feel sorry for people. He will bomb your country and smile and have a good night's sleep. Keep reading.
Yea, also, because he transgressed by wine.
His wine is his politics. His wine is his religions. Go ahead.
He is a proud man.
God says this white man is a proud man. Go ahead.
Neither keepeth at home.
America doesn't stay at home. They're in Somalia. America's in Yemen. America's in Afghanistan. America's in Libya. America's everywhere in everybody's country, in everybody's business, dropping bombs and destabilizing countries. That's what America's doing. That's what that part means. Read that part again.
Neither keep it. Oh, sorry. Yea, also because he transgresses by wine. He is a proud man. Neither keepeth at home.
He does not stay at home.
Yep. It's called a home equity agreement. And I got $143,000 for my home equity.
He is in everybody's country saying, I don't like your politics. And because I don't like your politics, oh, you got gold, you got uranium. You know what? Let's bomb that country and say that they're dictators there. That's what they do. Now you look evil. Look what happened in Venezuela. Venezuela President, not Noriega, Manuel Maduro. Thank you. Maduro is a drug dealer. No, the drugs that was made in Venezuela didn't come to America. It came to the UK, came to England, but not to America. So Trump says, you know what? We have to stop them. It's the same playbook they did to Manuel Noriega in Panama, because they wanted the Panama Canal. They said, oh, Noriega, you are a drug dealer. We're gonna get you. We gotta stop you. They destroyed Manuel Noriega's whole military. Now America said, now we have to control the Panama Canal. So now Colombia has the most oil of all countries. America says, you know what? We want that oil, but we can't just take it. Let's just say, oh, I know. He's a drug dealer. Yeah. They said, didn't we do that before? It's going to work again. Don't worry about it. People are stupid. Yeah, you're a drug dealer. And everybody goes, yeah, he's a drug dealer. Take him down. Yes. So watch this, Chemi. Read on. What verse are you in?
Verse 5.
Verse 5. Go ahead.
Who enlargeth his desire as hell, and is as death.
Whoever takes on this man's wine, his philosophies, which is his religions and politics, it's as death. Your country turns into hell, and you die as a result. Watch this.
And cannot be satisfied.
Watch, here it comes.
But gathereth unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people.
Where are those nations and people coming from? They're coming from the places they drop bombs on. They're coming from the places they destabilized. Go ahead.
Shall not all these take up a parable against him?
Shall not all these people that just came into America? Read that again, verse 6.
Shall not all these take up a parable against him?
Against the white man?
And a taunting proverb against him, and say
what?
Woe to him that increaseth that which is not his.
Woe. The word woe means destruction. Destruction to him that increases that which is not his. The oil of Venezuela does not belong to the United States of America. Okay? The minerals in Yemen, Somalia, don't belong to America. That's what that right. Read that line again.
Woe to him that increaseth that which is not his.
Go ahead.
How long?
How long shall this go on? That's the question Habakkuk is asking. How long, Lord, will this continue? Go ahead.
And to him that ladeth himself with thick clay.
The thick clay is the peoples of the world that he bombed, and he allowed them to come live in America. Go ahead.
Shall they not rise up suddenly that shall bite thee?
See what these nations in America shall do? Shall they not rise up suddenly that shall bite thee? What does it mean, rise up? Rise up from what? Sleep. There's something called sleeper cells, Chimmy. There are sleeper cells in America. They shall rise up suddenly and bite America. That means terrorist activity. Go ahead.
And awake that shall vex thee.
And awake that shall vex thee. Awake from what? Sleep. There are sleeper cells in the United States of America. They got them here in the UK, United Kingdom too. Go ahead.
And thou shalt be for booties unto them.
And thou shalt be for booties. Now, the question people ask, why is terrorism going to happen in America or in Europe? Here's the answer, verse 8.
Verse 8, because thou hast spoiled many nations.
America has spoiled many nations. We just looked at an article. They bombed 7 countries in 2016. They doubled the bombings in Somalia as of last year. Read that again.
Because thou hast spoiled many nations.
And you notice, the news never says how many innocent civilians were murdered. They never say how many women, how many children were murdered. They don't say.
That all the remnant of the people shall spoil thee.
See that? All the remnant of the people shall spoil thee. The remnant of the people are in America. They're in America. The Afghanistan are in America. The Somalians are in America. Go ahead. Yes.
Because of men's blood.
Because of men's blood.
Go ahead. And for
the violence of the land.
And for the violence of the land that America brought forth, go ahead.
Of the city and of all that dwell therein.
So terrorism is prophesied to take place in America and in these Western powered countries like France, England, London. It's going to happen because they have been paramount in utilizing their militaries to destabilize countries and destroy and kill people by the hundreds of thousands. Okay, that's what they do. So that's what's going on. So what America's doing is saying, look at those Mexicans, get them out of the country. Look at those Africans, get them out of the country. Look at those Caribbeans, get them out of the country. What about those Arabs? No, they can stay. That's God's plan, though. I see that's God's hand in this thing. He's allowing that to go down. You got that, Chemi?
Yes. Is European Union turning against the USA?
Oh, yes. And it's a good.
I want to know, have you made this mistake with your holster? And by mistake, I mean, did you get a holster that's uncomfortable so you don't carry all the time? You may have.
Thing because it's prophecy. Watch this. So what happened recently in the news, if I don't know if y'all can find it, find me. Denmark sends, how does it go? Denmark sends, who was it? Denmark sends Iran list of Mossad agents. Google that and see if anything pops up. But what happened as recently as 2 weeks ago, Chemi, America said they want, let me back up. Iran has been destabilized, right? You see all the chaos in Iran. The women are throwing off their hijabs. They're saying, oh, we hate Iran. We don't like Ayatollah Khomeini. We don't like him. We don't like him. He's not right. So you see thousands of people in the street. So this is what happened. America, Trump says we want to take Greenland. Denmark says, but we're a part of the EU. We own Greenland. So Trump says, no, but it's closer to us. It's a better military post for us. We're going to take it. Denmark says, leave Greenland alone. So what does Denmark do? Because they're mad at President Trump, they send a list of 800 Mossad agents to Khomeini. And so all those people that's protesting, you have 800 Mossad agents in your country destabilizing it. So how do they destabilize countries? Very easy. That's what they do. Remember, money, America prints money. America prints money. So imagine I go to Kenya. Let's say I am an agent for Mossad or America. I go to Kenya and I say, Chemi, I'll pay you $1 million to help me destabilize the country here in Kenya. And then I'll give you free transport to America. You could get citizenship. 9 out of 10 people, Chemi, will accept that. 9 out of 10 will say, yes, I'll do it. That's what happened in Iran. That's what happened in a lot of these countries. America will send agents. Israel sends agents with offers of promises, financial promises. Okay, and people accept the money. So they protest in the streets. Why? Because I'm gonna get $1 million. I've never seen $1 million.
Yeah, sure. It's a deal. It's a good deal, actually.
Yeah, it's a good deal. So people do it. So now when you look at the news channel, you say, oh, look, the people in Iran, they hate the Khomeini. Oh, look, it's such a terrible country. No, no. It was at peace before those Mossad agents went in there with financial deals. Give me that a gift to show off that Ecclesiastes 7. Give me that. I'm gonna show you what they do. Ecclesiastes is it?
Yes, I got you.
I forgot the verse.
Ecclesiastes chapter 7 and verse 7. Surely oppression maketh a wise man mad.
Surely oppression makes a wise man mad.
And a gift destroyeth the heart.
And a gift destroyeth the heart. What is the gift? Money. Money.
Yeah,
you give somebody $1 million, Chemi, $1 million. They'll do whatever you say. You're going to give me $1 million and a new identity in America? I'll do it. I will do it. That's how they are. That's how they destabilize whole countries. And you watch the news and go, yeah, the country must be bad. Look at the citizens. They hate the country. No, those citizens been paid. Remember they did that in Syria with al-Bashar. All those they destabilized the whole place, paid all those people money, and they made an Al-Qaeda terrorist president of the country. You can't make this up. Everyone's like, oh, nobody sees what's going on. Nobody sees this. Did y'all find that for me? You got something? Okay. Let me see that one. Yeah, read that.
Jerusalem Post, watch. Iran arrests Mossad agent participating in ongoing nationwide protests.
And it wasn't just one Mossad. There's an article that said there was over 800 Mossad agents. Read that next line.
Iranian media reported the arrest of an alleged Mossad affiliate amid expanding protests, internet disruptions, campus raids, and growing chants against Supreme Leader Ali Khamenei.
That's what happens. That is what happens. You got another one? Okay. Okay, 700 plus. Let's take a look at it. Watch this, Jimmy. Read that.
This is France 24. Iran arrests 700 Israeli agents. But where are the weapons?
Iran arrests 700. Why are Israeli agents in Iran? Read that next line.
Iranian state media announced on Wednesday that Iran's security forces have arrested more than 700 people on suspicion of belonging to an Israeli spy network since Israel's June 13th attack.
So you have a spy network in Iran. I said, we read Ecclesiastes. We read what did we just read?
Ecclesiastes.
Read it again. Remember, spark my memory back.
Ecclesiastes chapter 7 and verse 7. Surely oppression maketh a wise man mad, and a gift destroyeth the heart.
Give me Isaiah 21. Watch this, Jimmy. Isaiah 21. This ain't what I wanted, but I'm just going to read it anyway. Let me look at it. Isaiah 21, I think verse 1.
Isaiah chapter 21 and verse 1. The burden of the desert of the sea, as whirlwinds in the south pass through. So it cometh from the desert, from a terrible land.
Watch this.
A grievous vision is declared unto me.
Watch this.
The treacherous dealer dealeth treacherously.
The treacherous dealer dealeth treacherously. That's America. The treacherous dealer dealeth.
All right, look, I don't know who need to hear this, but my man just tried that new 100 milligram generic Viagra for
dealeth treacherously. Go ahead.
And the spoiler spoil it.
The spoiler that spoils is America. They rob everyone of their resources. Go ahead.
Go up, oh Elam.
The prophecy says, go up, O Elam. Elam is Pakistan and India. Go ahead.
Besiege, O Media.
Besiege, O Media. That's Persia. That's Iran. Media is modern day Iran. Go ahead.
All the sighing thereof have I made to cease.
So the prophecy is, when you read the entire chapter, Iran will attack America. Iran will attack Israel. It's going to happen. Now remember where I wanted to go, Obadiah verse 7. You asked about, is EU, NATO turning against America? And the answer is yes, according to prophecy. Obadiah verse 7.
Obadiah verse 7. All the men of thy confederacy.
Slow down. All the men of thy confederacy. The confederacy is America's allies. Read it again.
All the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border.
Have brought thee even to the border, the brink of destruction. Go ahead.
The men that were at peace with thee.
The men that were at peace with thee
have deceived thee.
Have deceived thee. That's what's happening. The EU is deceiving America. NATO is deceiving America. So you see, NATO and the EU is getting angry with America. You're just going to remember, Denmark is a NATO ally. Denmark is an EU ally. How can America now take Greenland, which is a part of Denmark? That's the treacherous dealer dealeth treacherously. America's a treacherous country. So now the allies prophetically will turn on America. Get Revelation 17. And I think it's 16, about the 10 horns.
Yes, sir. Revelation chapter 17 and verse 16. And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast.
So the 10 horns is NATO. The 10 horns that you read about that's on this dragon is NATO. Go ahead.
These shall hate the whore.
These shall hate the whore. Though, give me, you see the 10 horns, raise it up so we can read the 10 horns. Raise it up. I can't see all 10. Move that bottom, the lower third. So the 10 horns, you got to shrink that. Make it smaller. You got Belgium, Luxembourg, Netherlands, Italy, Greece, France. That's only 6. There's 4 more. It's chopped. Y'all give me a broken one. Wow. Okay, find me another one that's not chopped, please. I want to explain the 10 horns. I got to read all their names. Okay, put it back up. Okay, Belgium, the 10 horns. Belgium, Luxembourg, Netherlands, Germany, United Kingdom, Italy, Greece, France, Denmark. See that? Denmark and Ireland. Those are the major 10 horns. That was the foundation of the EU, those 10 right there. So Revelation 17:16, one more time.
Sir. And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore.
So the 10 horns, these shall hate the whore. The whore, give me you know what I want? I don't want Nicki Minaj, not Nicki Minaj. I want the whore. Whore. That's how we say it now. Whore. Put the whore on the screen so everybody knows who the whore is. Come on. Come on. All right. Read again. Make it bigger.
And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore.
This is the whore. The United States of America is the whore prophesied in Revelation 17. Go ahead.
And shall make her desolate.
Shall make her desolate
and naked.
And naked.
And shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire.
See that? And shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire. The prophecy is that the 10 horns, which is NATO, shall turn against the United States of America and burn America up. Go ahead, read.
For God hath put in their hearts to fulfill his will.
See that? God hath put in their hearts, the hearts of NATO, to fulfill his will. Go ahead.
And to agree.
And to agree.
And give their kingdom unto the beast.
And give their kingdom unto America. Go ahead.
Until the words of God shall be fulfilled.
Until the words of God should be fulfilled. Until the prophets have completed their mission on this earth. So yes, NATO, the EU will turn on America.
Mm-hmm.
Churches don't notice, Chummy. Churches have the Bible. All they do is sing and dance and jump up and down like sambos and jigaboos.
Reading one verse.
Yes.
Not explaining. And you see that Middle East, I thought or taking bribes.
What? Say it again. I didn't hear.
The Middle East country, I thought they feared haram. They call it haram, not receiving or taking bribes. Why would they accept it from Americans?
They're living lovely. They are living lovely. Give me, let me look. Isaiah, I think it's 21 again. It might be 30. Give me a sec. Let me just find it. Isaiah 21, where it talks about Arabia. Isaiah 21 talks about Arabia. Is it 21? Let me look. Yes. Verse 13. Isaiah 21, verse 13.
Isaiah chapter 21 and verse 13. The burden upon Arabia. In the forest in Arabia shall he lodge, or ye traveling companies of Dedanim, the inhabitants of the land of Tema.
So Dedanim and Tema are other Arab families. Go ahead.
The inhabitants of the land of Tema brought water to him that was thirsty. They prevented with their bread him that fled.
Fled from what? It's going to say what they fled from in verse 15. Go ahead.
For they fled from the swords, from the drawn sword, and from the bent bow, and from the grievousness of war.
So there's going to be war that the Arabs will be involved in. Right now, you have puppet leaders set over Arabia. They're getting financial gain from America. Qatar, the UAE, Saudi Arabia, they get financial gains working with Western powers, working with the United States of America. But there will come a time in this near future where many of these Arabs will change their mind and say, you know what, we need to fight against America. But when they fight, they will get wiped off the face of the earth. It's going to say that. Keep reading.
Verse 16. For thus hath the Lord said unto me, within a year, according to the years of an hireling, and all the glory of Kedar shall fare.
Kedar was one of the families of the Arabs. Go ahead.
And the residue of the number of archers, the mighty men of the children of Kedar, shall be diminished.
You see that? And the residue of the number of archers, the mighty men of the children of Kedar shall be diminished. That means they're going to get wiped out in this war. Go ahead.
For the Lord God of Israel hath spoken it.
The Lord God of Israel hath spoken it. It's prophecy. So we know what's going to happen, Jimmy. It's just wait. That's God wants us prepare our hearts, prepare our minds for what is about to come. Jacob's trouble will come. That's when our people will catch a lot of hell, Chemi. That's as the Arabs is going to get it. All nations is going to get it, Chemi, including our people. So if our people keep playing games, they're going to get caught up in this. They're going to get caught up in destruction. You understand, Chemi?
Yes, I do understand. So he also attacked Nigeria with a drone bomb in December. I don't know what's your take on that. Why would he do that? It's an what will he gain?
Well, remember, Trump bombed Sokoto. Do you have the picture of the bombing of Sokoto? You got it? No, I want the one that we updated. You know what I'm talking about? I'm going to show you, Chemi. Let me, if I could just find this picture. Y'all got it? It's one with their faces. Oh, I got it. Yeah, I'm going to send it. I'm going to put your airdrop on. I see Azaria. Azaria, I'm sending it to you. That's the only one I see. I'm going to send it, and we're going to post it. I want you to, before I speak on it, I want you to look at the visual. Now, Joseph pops up now. When you sat down, it just popped up. Yeah. Put that picture up on the screen. I want Chemi and her audience to take a look at it. She said, why would America bomb Nigeria? There's several reasons. As you can see, you see what Sokoto is, Chemi? You see what Sokoto is circled in red? Chemi? Oh, she dropped off? Damn.
No, I'm here.
Oh, you can hear me? You see
Yes,
what
I can hear
Sokoto
you.
is, right? You see what Sokoto is?
Sure.
See where it's right next door to Niger, which is next door to Burkina Faso, which is next door to Mali.
Yeah.
That was a strategic attack to disrupt the Sahel, what they call the Sahel. Am I saying it right? Sahel?
Sahara.
Yeah. So they want to Trump wants to disrupt that because what those three leaders are doing is unheard of. They all kick France out. So now America wants to get closer to them. So he's working out a deal with the Nigerian president, who's this guy, the Nigerian president, that guy has no cojones. He has no backbone. Okay, whatever the white man says he does. Okay, so notice the bombing is right on the border of Niger, right next to Burkina Faso, right next to Mali. That was strategic because they said, remember what Trump said? He said, we got to help the Christians. But that area in Sokoto is primarily Muslim.
Yes.
The Christians are in central Nigeria and lower, not there at all. So you bombing someplace that had nothing to do. He said ISIS is there. ISIS is not in Sokoto. And people were saying, there's no ISIS here. What are you talking about?
The government is banning these $29 adaptive glasses next month. And this is your last shot to get the original military.
It's all lies. Remember we read earlier about the treacherous dealer dealeth treacherously. American treacherous dealer. Okay. Might equals right. That's their mentality. Might equals right. Whoever has the power should be the king.
No.
The leader. That's the mentality. Okay. And nobody's saying nothing against it. Africa's not saying nothing against it. Well, I can't say all Africa because I do like Captain Ibrahim Traore of Burkina Faso.
He's a king,
and I like the president of Mali and the president of Niger. What they're doing, I love what they're doing. God's give me that Zephaniah 2:1. God commands all of our people to do. Zephaniah chapter 2, verse 1. And you have African leaders who are afraid to do this. Watch
Very
this.
afraid.
Yes, read that.
Zephaniah chapter 2 and verse 1. Gather yourselves together. Yea, gather together, O nation not desired.
What God says to do, gather together. So
unity.
Yeah, unity. So Burkina Faso united with Mali and Niger. That's Africa.
Niger.
Now, right, Niger. If only the rest of Africa could follow suit, but the rest of Africa, a lot of them are fearful. They are afraid of Western powers. They said, "What if they kill me?" So what if they kill you? If you have nothing to die for, then your life is not worth living. Your life is not worth living if there's no reason or nothing for you to die for. I believe Martin Luther King said that. Google it for me. He said, I believe Martin Luther King is the one that said, if you have nothing to die for, then you have nothing to live for. Something like that, he said. And I love when he said that because it's so true, so profound. And every black man and black woman should take heed. Okay? Put that. Yes. Fill a screen so we can see it. Read that.
Shrink quote says, if you've got nothing worth dying for, you've got nothing worth living for.
So every black man and every black woman, needs to examine themselves. What are you willing to die for? What are you worth living for? The answer should be the same. You're willing to die for this truth and live for this truth. Okay, that's your mentality. That should be all of our mental mentality should be. So in Africa, all of 54 African countries, except those three, I'm putting those three, Burkina Faso, Mali, on the side, not them. I'm not talking about them, but the rest of Africa are afraid. I'll give you another example. Type in slavery in Libya on Tumblr, X, or go to X, and there's a woman, I forgot her name, from Ethiopia being sold as a slave. Every time I see the picture, I just get angry. And it amazes me how all of Africa could unite and wipe them off the face of the earth for what they're doing to black people.
And but it's possible, but they're afraid.
They're afraid. Then you shouldn't be a leader. A leader should not be a fearful man, a fearful woman. Stop being so afraid.
Yes.
Okay. Y'all got me?
Yep.
Watch this. I want to show you. I want your audience to see this picture here. It's an Ethiopian woman. It's on X. It's on X, formerly known as Twitter. And it says she's being sold as a slave. I forgot her name. Okay. But if you just type in slavery in Libya, it should pop up. She should pop up right on the screen. Okay. You got me?
Yeah.
Okay. You found it? All right, put it on the screen for the audience can look at it. Okay. Watch this, Jimmy. I want your audience to see this so that they know I'm not making things up, so that they know it's the truth.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Come on, y'all. The show's dragging. I need y'all to come on. Let's work together. That's it right there. Read that top.
Picture of
That's
Naima Jamal, an Ethiopian woman currently being held and auctioned as a slave in Libya.
See that in Libya. So why isn't Ethiopia and the other African leaders doing anything? Because they're afraid of the Arabs. They're afraid of the white man. They're afraid of the Arabs. There are 54. Okay, if you take off North Africa, how many countries is there left? 40. I'm bad at math. Is it 42 African countries that could join together and wipe Libya off the face of the earth? There should never be another Libya there.
Remember, it used to be the best country in Africa.
Yeah. Under Gaddafi, it was a great country. Once America murdered him, now look at it. Now they're selling Africans as slaves. Put the picture back up. I want to say something about this picture. Look at Naima. She's tied up and gagged. And look at the men behind her. The men are broken, mentally and spiritually broken, afraid. They're not tied. The men are not tied up, but they're afraid to what? Die, afraid to revolt. All those African men back there going to be sold as slaves, afraid to revolt, afraid for a revolution. Never be afraid to revolt when it's in the interest of your own people, your own life even. Okay? It's better to die standing on your feet than on your hands and knees as a slave. The hell is this? That's the mentality.
A healthy liver helps your body process food. All right, Dad, what are you making? My new go-to morning smoothies. What's that?
People must have, So yeah, when I see that, I get furious. And see, they look for African leaders who are cowards. That's what they do. We need cowardly African leaders who will kiss our butt when we walk through the streets. That's what they look for.
Yeah.
So all African leaders, sorry to say, Jimmy, even Kenya, cowards, cowards, all of them.
We're coming to Kenya. Let me ask this question before I forget. Kenyan president, I don't know whether you can hear me.
I can hear you.
Kenyan president signed a $200 million health deal with America in 2025, granting American researchers access to Kenyans' medical data without consulting Kenyans. What's your take on that?
Wow. So what that means is they paid him money. What's your president's name? Ruto?
Yes.
So they paid him money under the table, and now he's selling you out. So what should Kenyans do with the current president? He should be ousted. Presidents that sell out the people, because listen, they're going to use Kenyans as lab rats, research dummies, experiment on you. That's what they're going to do on you. That's what they want to do. They want to. They will bring in foods to help make you sick, then bring in vaccines to help make you better. But these are experimental things. Experimental, okay. And a lot of Kenyans will die. God forbid. A lot of Kenyans will die.
We had these vaccines in school, brought to school for the small kids, and you, as a parent, you were supposed to sign. I did not sign mine.
Right. Exactly. I would sign things like that. That is horrible. That's terrible leadership. Bad leadership. You must always look out for the people. Always look out for the people, the love of your people. Give me that Leviticus 19. Let me show you that. Watch this. Leviticus 19. You heard of love your neighbor as you love yourself, right? You heard that before, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what it means?
Yes.
What does it mean?
It means you if you have something that your friend doesn't have, you share equally into two.
Okay, no. I'm going to show you what it means. Watch this. Leviticus 19:17. This is where Christ got it from. When Christ said, love your neighbor as you love yourself, as the second greatest commandment, he was quoting Moses. Watch this.
Leviticus chapter 19, verse 17. Thou shalt not hate thy brother in thine heart.
Thou shalt not hate thy brother in thine heart. Go ahead.
Thou shalt in any wise rebuke thy neighbor and not suffer sin upon him.
So the question may be, okay, use the term brother for neighbor, but maybe the brother could be anybody. Your neighbor could be anybody. Watch verse 18 clears it up.
Thou shalt not avenge nor bear any grudge against the children of thy people.
Wait a minute. So your brother is your neighbor, is the children of thy people. The children of your people, Kemi, is not all races on the planet. That's not the Chinese. That's not the children of your people. The Arabs are not the children of your people. The churches have been misleading us and teaching us wrong, miseducating us in the scriptures. Our brother is our neighbor, is the children of our people. Let me make it easier. The children of your race. Your race. Get that in Matthew 22 when Christ said it. Matthew 22 is at 36. That's what Christ said. The two greatest commandments. Watch this, Jimmy.
Read. Matthew chapter 22 and verse 36. Master, which is the great commandment in the law? Jesus said unto him, thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart and with all thy soul and with all thy mind. This is the first and great commandment.
So Christ was quoting Deuteronomy 6, verse 5. Go ahead.
And the second is like unto it. Thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself.
So he was quoting Leviticus 19:18. So it's literally saying, thou shalt love thy race as thyself. Your neighbor is the children of your people, your race, your race, your race. That's what we've never been taught. This is why it's so easy for Africans to hate Africans. So easy for blacks to turn against blacks, but nobody turns against the white man. Nobody turns against the Arabs. Nobody turns against the Chinese. Why? Because you love them as your neighbor and you despise your own race. That's what the churches have taught us. That's what these lousy, filthy churches have taught us. They've miseducated us. And that's why we're still colonized. This is why our people remain on the bottom, because of bad doctrine, bad theology.
Children of Israel.
Yes, exactly. I'm glad you got it, Jimmy. I pray your listening audience gets it. I know some of them are going to fuss and fight because they love that white man more than their own mother and father.
No, nowadays everyone in Africa, especially in Kenya, has started to wake up. There's spiritual awakening. Yeah, I'm glad they're learning. Yes.
So if we go there again and they ain't gonna throw rocks at us this time?
No, not when I'm there.
Okay. Yes, Jenny.
All right, let's go to the Bible.
All right, folks. Thank you for tuning in. Please share, like, and let's get to our people. This is revolutionary time, right? Anyway, we already talked for long. We've been here for a long time. So I will see you all Saturday, or I will see you all Sunday. Thanks for being on. Once again, this is Frank. I am your host. See you guys. Peace.
The white power structure, because that's all we have in America. And the white power structure today is just as much interested in perpetuating slavery as the white power structure was 100 years ago. Only now they use modern methods of doing so. And realizing that the black people in this country are waking up and becoming filled with a desire to be looked upon as men and as human beings. The white power structure, to slow down that struggle for freedom and human dignity, uses tricks. 100 years ago, they could do it with chains. Today, they use tricks. And one of the tricks that they've invented is this token integration. to get Negro, so-called Negro leaders to accept a few token crumbs of integration that don't solve any problem for the masses of black people in this country whatsoever, but it does make the hand-picked Negroes be satisfied to slow down the crime.